Welcome to the capital of the Golden State, Sacramento, California. Since the 2000 season, the hottest ticket in town during the summer has been River Cats baseball at Raley Field. Tonight, the fans will be treated to the best in minor league baseball. It's the 2005 AAA All-Star Game, presented in stunning high definition on ESPN2 HD, brought to you by Philips. It is one level below, one phone call away from the show. There are prospects and journeymen, phenoms and veterans, all with one goal in mind. Most future stars make their last minor league stop at AAA, one final plateau before they can call themselves major leaguers. The AAA All-Star Game has played host to many of baseball's brightest stars before they shined on the national stage. If you watched them back then, you probably wondered, would they be stars or champions? In some cases, like Derek Jeter, they've become that and more. Tonight, it's the best in AAA. Some are veterans hoping for that one last shot, like Ernie Young, once an Oakland phenom. Some are prospects who will join the Piazzas and the Pedros. But tonight, they are all All-Stars. It's the AAA All-Star Game, live from Sacramento. Welcome to Raley Field in West Sacramento. The best from the International League and the Pacific Coast League will go head-to-head in the 18th edition of this Midsummer Classic. It is standing and sitting room only. The River Cats are the leaders in minor league attendance, and tonight those same fans and more have packed the berms in the outfield. Meanwhile, on the concourse, the fun is just beginning. This 5-year-old park, very fan-friendly, and tonight the faithful have come to see the best from baseball's highest minor league level. And welcome to Triple Digit Sacramento. Dave Barnett, Steve Phillips, Buck Martinez. First of all, for the International League All-Stars tonight, Steve, who are we particularly watching?
Well, a lot of exciting players here represented internationally, but we're going to focus on the left side of the infield. B.J. Upton, the future shortstop of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Exciting combination, that unique combination of power and speed. 27 stolen bases this year, 9 home runs already. This guy is an exciting offensive player. Defensively, he's got some work to do. 30 errors so far. Very athletic. He just needs to slow himself down and get under control, but he is the future in Tampa Bay. The other guy on the left side of the infield, Edwin Encarnacion, the future third baseman of the Cincinnati Reds. They're looking to trade Joe Rand at the deadline. This young man will step in and play third base for a long time in Cincinnati. 13 home runs already at the break. This guy is a solid defensive player, good first step quickness, and he has some power. 13 homers. This guy's got the whole package.
And the pride of Elk Grove High School, Buck Martinez, for the Pacific Coast League. Who interests you the most tonight?
Well, Dave, I think the first guy that really catches my eye is Ian Kinsler, the second baseman for the Texas Rangers. He's a natural shortstop, but he's moved across the diamond because of an all-star named Michael Young. Kinsler has good power, 16 home runs, 63 RBIs, and he's not had much of a problem with the transition. This is another one of those good, powerful young infielders that Texas has been so good at developing. It looks as though this may be the Rangers' second baseman of the future. Another great bat in this lineup for the PCL is Connor Jackson of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jackson has hit 300 in every stop in the minor leagues, and this guy uses the whole field. He's had 32 doubles already to this point in the season, and he's had more walks than strikeouts, something that's very unusual for a young power hitter.
This is the 18th AAA All-Star Game, and the first 17, 57 future Major League All-Stars have taken part. Also coming up tonight, we'll focus on the long and winding road 36-year-old Ernie Young's career has taken. We'll discuss the many big leaguers who have come from this area, including the one here in our booth. And we'll look back on the festivities here in town, including the Home Run Derby Monday night when Mitch Jones lit up the sky. First pitch coming right up.
AXA Financial Protection, what does it mean?
AXA, they help my father with his investments.
AXA, they helped my grandparents when they retired, so I can visit their beach house.
AXA, they're protecting our family with life insurance.
It's what we do at AXA, and we like to call it financial protection. AXA, be life confident.
It's not just another truck. It's the Honda Ridgeline. with four-wheel drive, a rugged integrated closed box frame, and a lockable in-bed trunk. Introducing the all-new Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
I knew he'd come in handy someday.
I'm State Farm Agent Ephraim Sanchez, and this is a true story.
I never knew that his good grades would save us money on car insurance.
I never knew he could get good grades.
He cheated.
He had a tutor.
When I found out about Mark's grades, I got him a good student discount.
Dad, if you get me a car, we could get another discount.
Mark's getting a car?
That's so not fair.
More drivers get more discounts from State Farm than anybody else. See what a State Farm agent could save you today.
Like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Starbucks double shot espresso drink. Bring on the day.
ESPN2's AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by AXA Financial, one of the premier financial services organizations in the United States and a worldwide leader in financial protection and wealth management. And Shell V-Power, with more than 5 times the cleaning agents to actively clean for better performance.
Raley Field, right by the Sacramento River. West Sacramento, just across from downtown. The AAA All-Star Game. We welcome the 4th member of our crew. Hopefully we'll keep as cool as possible on a triple-digit evening. Gary Miller.
Dave, they're kind of used to that here in the Pacific Coast League, especially Connor Jackson, who plays in Tucson. He hopes to be playing in Phoenix before too long. Connor, it's been an incredible season for you so far, an all-star type season, another Futures game for you as well. How does this game differ from the Futures game?
You know what, it's a lot more personal. You got a lot of guys here that you know you've played with, kind of grown up your career with, and you know, got a good mixture of the younger and older guys, and man, this is fun. This is all about right here. I'm going to go out and have a lot of fun.
How much attention do you hope the Diamondbacks are paying to what you do tonight?
You know what? That's a tough question right there. But, you know, I hope I go out, maybe get a few hits. But, you know, I'm not really going to press or nothing. It's all about fun and hanging out with the guys here.
You're hitting .373. You only got 7 home runs. Are you working on the power game? Is there anything that you're working on developing to become the future Diamondback?
I think it's going to come. I mean, I'm not trying to press. You know, I think I'm doing just fine, and I'm just kind of trying to take one day at a time. And hopefully the power numbers will rise in the second half.
Maybe we'll see one go out tonight.
All right.
Guys, back to you.
Some guys just exude the air of a future major leaguer. Connor Jackson would fit that description.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, this guy looks like a pro. He looks like a big leaguer. He's a face man. People have just got a lot of charisma to go along with the talent, that extraordinary ability. Think about it, Buck. 54 walks, 22 strikeouts. Those are phenomenal numbers for a guy with some pop in his bat.
Well, Steve, it's unheard of in this day and age when everybody discounts the strikeout, but Connor Jackson has the approach at the plate that's really appealing. And Gary mentioned 7 home runs, but I know that if you can hit like Connor Jackson, once he gets the experience under his belt, learns how to look for pitches, the home runs are going to come. He has just made the transition over to first base. He got the spring training this spring. They handed him a first baseman glove, said this is the shortest route to the big leagues.
See, I like the points made because you're right. Hitters need to learn how to hit first, then they learn how to hit for power later. The perfect example of that is Brian Roberts of the Baltimore Orioles this year. He had 50 doubles last year for the Orioles, only 4 home runs. He's figured things out. He works the count, as Connor Jackson does, and those doubles have turned into homers this year. Connor Jackson, the power will come.
The lineup for the International League All-Stars tonight begins with B.J. Upton, the shortstop from Durham in the Tampa Bay system, and Jake Gautreau, second baseman from Buffalo, first baseman Mitch Jones, home run derby winner from Columbus. Left fielder hitting cleanup is John Fort Griffin from Syracuse and Toronto. DH is the veteran, 36-year-old Ernie Young, now in the Cleveland system. As is the catcher, Ryan Garco. Third baseman, Edwin Encarnacion, has already been up with the Reds. Right fielder is Mike Vento from the Yankees AAA Columbus Clippers. And the center fielder batting ninth is Chip Ambrose from the Red Sox AAA Pawtucket franchise.
Well, the starter for the PCL is Chris Gissell. He made 18 starts too far this season. A 2.62 ERA. Very good numbers in the PCL. There are a lot of good hitter ballparks in this league. He has given up just 99 hits in 113 innings. He's not overpowering, but he has good command of the strike zone and good size. He's 6'5". He made his debut with the Rockies last year. Actually started against the St. Louis Cardinals at the end of the season. His first major league start came on September 26th against St. Louis. So this guy has had a taste of the big leagues, and his desire now, of course, is to get back and help that St. Louis Cardinal club.
Actually released by the Giants Fresno franchise, and then went on at Colorado Springs to lead the Pacific Coast League with 14 wins. Defensively, here is how the International League will hit into the PCL defenders. Gissell throwing to Gerald Laird behind the plate. Jackson Green, Herman Coolbaugh in the infield, and Gonzalez, Godwin, Watson in the outfield. Adam Dowdy of the Pacific Coast League is the home plate umpire. Troy Fullwood of the International League at first. Mark Morrow of the PCL at second. And Chad Fairchild of the International League is at third. B.J. Upton, 20-year-old, former #2 overall pick in the 2002 draft by Tampa Bay out of Greenbrier Christian Academy. B.J. for Boss Man Jr. His given name is Melvin Emanuel. Dad was the original Boss Man.
Well, why couldn't my parents come up with nicknames like that? I love that.
And the first pitch outside from Gissell. Up with Tampa Bay at age 19 last year. B.J. Upton at 292. Bat goes flying. Foul ball, 1-1.
Now, here's B.J. Upton's profile. Good enough to bat in the big leagues right now. He's got power to all fields, and he's hit over 300 throughout his minor league career, playing shortstop every day this season. He's committed 30 years, but I am not concerned by that number whatsoever. I think he's got to learn how to slow the game down and just let the ball come to him. And early on in his career, he has a tendency to get a little too aggressive. He needs to lay back, let the ball come to him. You're going to see one of the strongest arms in all of baseball when he gets that ball to shortstop in the hole.
Well, I think the thing we have to remember, he's 20 years old, but he was in the major leagues at 19 years old last year and held his own offensively. He did struggle up there defensively. They moved him off the shortstop. Now he's back at AAA playing every day.
New weapon, fouls that one back to 1-2. Last year at age 19, up with the Devil Rays. August 17th, went deep.
Well, this is the thing you love about a young hitter, his ability to go opposite field with power. You can't teach that. Lou Piniella, the manager, was thrilled when he saw his power to the opposite field and said, man, that's something we can work with.
That one off Kelvin Escobar. The 2-2 pitch from Gissell is again foul back. Now, Buck, you said 30 errors. That doesn't draw any degree of worry from you about his glove and his major league defense?
I think you have to let him learn how to play the position. And if you look at Derek Jeter's numbers for a similar amount of games in the minor leagues, Derek Jeter actually had the same amount of errors. And oftentimes we're comparing young players like Upton to a major league polished Derek Jeter.
Mike Coolbaugh handles a hot shot, and Connor Jackson scoops the throw from Coolbaugh to retire Upton. And one gone at the top of the first. Jake Gautreau down. Second baseman hitting .279 with 16 home runs. Has driven in 45 for the Buffalo Bisons. Cleveland Indians AAA. Jake Gautreau from McAllen, Texas, played at Tulane. Helped the Green Wave make their first ever College World Series appearance in 2001. And here's how valued he was at Tulane. He had the rarest thing for any male college athlete, a full scholarship in baseball. Those really do not exist.
You put up some good numbers if you get that. And Gautreau, first round pick by the San Diego Padres in 2001. And this offseason, the Padres and the Indians made an interesting trade. They traded former first-round draft picks from the minor leagues who just had kind of gotten a little bit stagnant. It has worked out very well for Gautreau and the Indians because he's turned his career around right now, putting up some significant offensive numbers.
College teams have 11.7 scholarships spread around 25 or more players, and that's how valued Gautreau was at Tulane. Big cut at that one, 2-2. 2004 split the year between AA Mobile, AAA Portland. Total 19 homers. He's already at 16. A third baseman all of last year. And that one foul back, still 2-2.
Talk about that trade that the Padres and the Indians made. you know, it's not often that you do that, but when you have a player that's kind of just gotten stagnant, you look around for deals where something might be made. And Gautreau said just the change of scenery has done him wonders. Not that there was anything wrong with the Padres. He just feels more comfortable and more relaxed in the Indians organization.
Well, and the Indians have a boatload of good young hitters. And this looks like Gautreau might fit into that mold. When you think about the big league players that are up there right now, Johnny Peralta, their shortstop, played in this AAA game a year ago. And now they are looking at him as a clutch hitter playing shortstop every day for a team that hopes to get to the postseason.
2-2 pitches roped, foul down the right field line, and it remains 2-2 to Gautreau. There's some tight quarters there down the right side.
One of the beauties of minor league stadiums is that the fans are right on top of the play, but it's also one of the risks when you're sitting down the line there that the line drives can find you.
Gautreau continues to spray him both ways. Raley Field, 14,000 plus seats. Packed on Monday night for the Home Run Derby, opened 5 years ago. And they have led the minor leagues in attendance with the River Cats here in Sacramento every year. That 2000 season, Raley Field wasn't quite ready for opening day. Oops. And the River Cats played their first 37 games on the road before Raley Field was finally completed. Worth the wait. 3-2 pitch popped up over for Lucas Coolbaugh. This will also come out of play.
Well, one thing you could look forward to was a good second half at home.
I'll tell you, if I were the Expos, I would start looking at players that had played in Sacramento and performed well, because what the Expos went through for a couple of years, not much different than what they went through here in Sacramento.
Tower Bridge just across the Sacramento River, and Gautreau continues to wear out Chris Gissell here. He won out the first.
Gissell can't figure out what to do to retire Gautreau. And able to foul off just about every pitch he has seen.
12 pitches. And time called by the home plate umpire, Adam Dowdy.
I tell you, I love to see this in a young hitter, seeing this many pitches, not only for him and his own at bat, but also for the other guys in the dugout to be able to check the pitcher out. They get 13 now, right? 13 pitches.
Now you see in the outfield, the sun is really shining brightly in the left field, but the right fielder, Matt Watson, who plays here in his home ballpark, playing for the River Cats, is used to that. And he's got to deal with the sun as he looks right toward that sun setting in the west. Wow, what an at bat.
Something else, huh?
I'm not sure if Gissell is going to go beyond 2 batters in the first inning.
Well, nobody's stirring in the bullpen just yet.
14 pitches and counting, and another 3-2 pitch, finally fair and ripped right to Watson, a base hit for Gautreau. Having sufficiently worn down Chris Gissell, Gautreau aboard with 1 out of the first.
Well, he had a very good 2-strike approach, fighting off pitches, and then he got what he could handle, turned on it quickly. Nice stroke right there. Very nice swing. I'll tell you, Sacramento, the Cats are an affiliate of the Oakland A's, and what do the Oakland A's like to do? They like their hitters to see a lot of pitches.
Take a lot of pitches, that's for sure.
Mitch Jones of Columbus now. 61 runs batted in, leads the International League. He had 20 home runs. That's the tops in tonight's roster, and the home run derby champion on Monday night over Ian Kinsler.
Boy, did he put on a show. It looked like nobody was going to hit home runs, and then he took over and hit them all over the place. Tremendous power. And he's always hit for power wherever he's played. But one thing that really jumps out at you on the stat sheet, strikeouts. 111 strikeouts already this season, but man, does he have some power.
And he has 39 last year. Gissell working pretty quickly, throwing lots of pitches. Another line drive to right is going to fall in there. And Gautreau will take third. The throw is offline. First and third for the International League with 1 out in the top of the first. Gautreau never hesitating around second base on that base hit by Jones.
Good piece of hitting by Jones. Gautreaux takes a peek at Watson out there. He says, I'm going to third. He should go to third. Base hit like that to right where the right fielder has to move toward the line, especially a right-handed thrower. You have to go first and third. Good hustle.
That brings up the left fielder, the cleanup hitter, John Ford Griffin, who is hitting .250 with 17 home runs, 61 runs batted in at Syracuse. John Ford Griffin, former Yankee #1 draft pick 4 years ago out of Florida State, where the Seminoles coach, Mike Martin, said he was the best hitter in the program's history.
Boy, that's pretty high praise considering the history of the Seminoles.
And the 2-0 pitch into center field, where Godwin makes the catch. Gautreaux tagging, and the throw bounces off the mound, and Gautreaux slides in safe. It's 1-0.
I tell you what, that's what's so difficult about throwing from center field. Everybody talks about center fielders that don't have a good arm, but they've always got to deal with the mound. It's a pretty strong throw. Godwin unloads it right on line, but watch him catch the mound and kick straight up into the air, and that keeps the catcher late from making a play on it. Not a bad throw at all. Looks like it's right on the money, but then it kicks on the edge of that mound and goes away to the first base side of home plate. Godwin had a shot at throwing him out. You got to get it above the mound, get it past that mound.
Ernie Young, 36 years of age. He was drafted by the A's in 1990. 10th rounder out of Lewis University in Illinois, and many, many stops, countless bus rides, countless box lunches later, and a few stops in the major leagues. Here he is, still with hopes of at least one more return to the show. Power's still there, 19 home runs, 66 runs batted in. One of 3 AAA All-Stars, 35 or older in our game tonight. Billy Miller's going to chat with Ernie later on. Last in the major leagues as a starter 2 years ago. 2003's last 2 years he spent with Buffalo.
You know, you look at the Indians organization, so many young hitters on their major league team. Why do they bring a guy like Ernie Young in? And it's not only to be an insurance policy, but it's also to be that veteran presence at AAA with young prospects. He's like having another coach on the team at AAA. So they're paying him pretty good money to play AAA ball. And, you know, he had, what, 4 at-bats in the major leagues last season. So he's there not only for being that insurance, but he can help a lot of the young hitters.
And he's called out, calls strike 3 to end the first. Gissell, though, gives up 2 singles, a sacrifice fly, and we head to the bottom of the first, 1-0. PCL coming to bat.
For Sacramento hotel packages and visitor information, visit discovergold.org or call 800-292-2334.
Tuesday night is poker night on ESPN. Now appearing live and in person, Kid Poker, Lady Luck, Phenom, and the Brat. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, part of Poker Night on ESPN, premieres Tuesday at 8.
Cox presents excuses to watch more Major League Baseball. But they spent all that time carving those little bats out of trees. I would go to the gym, but I think it's closed till October. I could take up extreme taxidermy instead.
You'll need all the excuses you can get with MLB Extra Innings on digital cable. Enjoy up to 60 games a week and follow your favorite team no matter where you live. Call 888-SPORTS-IN now to order for just $119. When it comes to sports, we're on your team.
If you love football, college or pro, you've got to see ESPN HD, available with Cox Digital Cable. It's high definition with the clearest, most realistic game you've ever seen. Get high definition service from Cox and get the best of college and pro football on ESPN HD. Order today and receive an ESPN HD football playbook filled with great offers and savings from ESPN and Cox.
Now at Pacific Sales, buy any HD TV and get a free year of HD programming. Pacific Sales has Southern California's lowest prices and free delivery. Pacific Sales, Irvine.
The International League dugout, they've taken a 1-0 lead into the bottom half of the first inning, and the Pacific Coast League now with Esteban Herman, the shortstop, leading off, followed by Andy Green, second base, Connor Jackson, Mike Coolbaugh, Matt Watson, Gerald Laird, Rick Short, Raul Gonzalez, and Tyrell Godwin. Jason Scobie from Norfolk, 10-4, the .340 earned run average, deals to Herman, and the first pitch is high.
Now, Scobie's not an overpowering pitcher. He made 17 starts for Norfolk Tides. He's 10-4. You can see he gives up about a hit an inning, but he's not going to strike you out. He utilized a good changeup. I talked to a bunch of the hitters in the International League, and they all suggested that his changeup was his out pitch.
Well, listen, he mixes pitches around a little bit, tries to get the hitters off balance. Drafted 2001 out of LSU as a senior sign, and this guy's a guy who has to prove himself every year. But every year he proves himself and he moves up to the next level. Don't be surprised. 10 wins in AAA. He's going to find his way to the big ones.
Esteban Herman and the Texas Rangers AAA Oklahoma Redhawks franchise. With a check swing and down at first. Troy Fullwood says he held up 3 balls and a strike. Herman from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Bounce between here in Sacramento and the big leagues last year, and he is aboard. A leadoff walk issued by Scobie. International League defensively, Garco is behind the plate. Mitch Jones, Yocho, B.J. Upton, and Edwin Encarnacion in the infield. John Ford Griffin, Chip Ambrose, and Michael Vento in the outfield. Herman at first, and Andy Green now, a second baseman from Arizona's Tucson Sidewinders, hitting .346. 13 home runs. Green, and then Connor Jackson, also from Tucson. Arizona fans have reason to pay close attention here at the bottom of the first.
Quite a 1-2 punch right there between Green and Connor Jackson. Green's at .346, Connor Jackson .373. These guys get on base and they match.
Well, when you look at Andy Green's numbers, 28 doubles, 10 triples, 13 home runs, and he's an extra base hitting machine.
Slugging .592. How about that?
And you see that he was a 24th round pick, probably because of his size more than anything at 5'9".
Think about those slugging numbers, though, at 5'9". Just a little guy, a lot of punch.
Just like that guy you mentioned earlier, Dave Roberts. And Brian Roberts of the Orioles.
Born in Lexington, Kentucky. And attended the University of Kentucky there. Drafted 24th in 2000 by the D-backs. Consider him their minor league version of Craig Counsell. Lots of intangibles, not one overpowering tool. A line drive in there, right center field. Herman with a good jump, and he's going to take third without a throw. So Connor Jackson will hit with 2 on, nobody out, and a chance at least to tie it for the PCL near the bottom of the first. You heard from Connor with Gary Miller before our first pitch at .373, second highest average in the league. 4 minor league clubs, he has never hit below .301. I'm interested to hear you, Steve, say that the power will come. If you have an average like that, you don't worry that there are only 7 home runs at the brick.
I think one of the mistakes you can make is to try to get a guy to start thinking power. I think what the reaction, the natural reaction for a hitter, when you tell him we want you to hit for more power, is he starts opening up, spinning off the ball, and he loses coverage of the outer half of the plate. You want a guy to hit to all fields, and then later when he gets a certain count, he'll look for a pitch to drive. Connor Jackson, 32 doubles. This guy knows what he's doing.
As as he shows there with an RBI single to right. Herman comes home, and it's 1-1. Jackson not waiting long.
Oh, what a good approach. And Steve, here's what you mentioned, the plate coverage. And this ball is away. Connor Jackson doesn't try to do anything other than drive it to the opposite field. Looked like a breaking ball about belt high, and he hammers it into right field. You know, so often baseball is so quick to put a label on a guy and say, well, he's only hit 7 home runs in a home run league. What's wrong with his power? I don't worry about that at all. And a most current example of that is Rafael Palmeiro, who's on the verge of joining a very exclusive club with 500 home runs and 3,000 hits.
Mike Coolbaugh, the third baseman, takes inside. Jackson with the RBI, and here is Coolbaugh from the Round Rock Express, the Astros AAA. 68 runs batted in, tied for the lead in the PCL. 1-1.
You know, we're talking about strikeouts and Connor Jackson's approach with the walks, you know, 54 walks and 22 strikeouts. We talked about Mitch Jones earlier for the Columbus Clippers, his 21 home runs, 111 strikeouts. So yes, in 14 at-bats, Mitch Jones has been better than Connor Jackson. He's got 14 more home runs. But in all of those other at-bats, Connor Jackson gives you the better at-bat. Power isn't always the answer when you're evaluating hitters. Contact, the ability to work the count, hit situations, drive in runs, hit for an average, and get on base. When you talk about Connor Jackson, his on-base percentage, I mean, those numbers are off the chart. 462 on-base percentage, for 463 for Connor Jackson. That's unbelievable.
Sounds like you just described Albert Pujols.
That's right. I mean,
same type of approach.
That's right. I mean, that's the potential that we're talking about with this kid's bat. Now, maybe people say, wow, come on. Those 32 doubles are going to become home runs. There's no question about it. Strength and learning how to hit. This kid is going to be an exciting hitter for a long time, and he's got a lot of charisma to go with his talent as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Coolbaugh, 33 years of age. Major League debut, 2001. And he takes high, the count runs full. Here's a description that really fits a lot of these players. That is, they're really 4A. They're really probably too good and definitely too experienced to still be at AAA, but they have never shown the ability to stick at the major league level. That might be the best way to describe Coolbaugh. Check swing grounder, Gotro. And the first out of the first inning. Runners move up. We move down to Gary Miller.
Guys, you know, as Connor Jackson told us in the pregame, what's great about this game as opposed to a futures game is you know a lot of guys that are on your team and a lot of guys on the other side as well. And that goes for Matt Watson, who used to room with Jason Scobie, who is now facing when they were in the Mets organization before our own Steve Phillips separated them. And, you know, Watson said it was pretty interesting. He had to room with pitchers a lot, and he kind of liked it. It gave him a break. I asked him if he had any dirt in his old roommate. He said nothing he could use in the air.
By the way, I didn't separate him. He got claimed on waivers after I had long been whacked.
Watson with the River Cats here in Sacramento this year hitting .302. And on the outside corner, ball in the strike.
Well, we had acquired Matt Watson when I was with the Mets from the Montreal Expos, and a deal we sent Bruce Chen and Dickie Gonzalez and an infielder Luis Figueroa to the Expos for Scott Strickland, Phil Seibel, and for Matt Watson. And Watson had won 2 batting titles already at that time, the New York Penn League and the Florida State League. And again, a guy that hadn't hit for much power, but he just knew how to work the count. He hit walked more than he had struck out, and that's the kind of guy you figure when he gets some experience, he's going to hit it out of the park.
Scobie's 2-1 pitches rope, but foul. 2-2.
Well, you know, so much of these major league players' success depends on their organization and the opportunity they get, because there's a very fine line between a 4A player and a big league player when you talk about opportunity. And Matt's been up a couple of times for the Oakland this year, and you just never know when he gets up there. Next time he goes up, maybe he's hot, maybe he gets on a roll, and they stick with him for an extended period of time.
Well, the interesting thing is, you know, you think, okay, the Oakland A's claimed him on waivers. Why is that? And it's because he fits the mold of what they look for in hitters. He's not a power guy, and he's not been a speed guy. He's an on-base percentage guy, and I think that Billy Beane's philosophy is at some point those guys will hit for an average, and they'll hit for power.
Watson with the second walk of the inning. We're in the bottom of the first. Raley Field, Sacramento, California, in the AAA All-Star game. Dave Barnett, Steve Phillips, Buck Martinez, and Gary Miller. We're 1-1. In the bottom of the first, Esteban Herman led with a walk. Since then, singles by Green and Jackson. Mike Coolbaugh advanced them both. And Matt Watson has just walked to load the bases for Gerald Laird, who brings a .295 average.
It's an interesting trip to the mound for Marty Brown, the manager of the IL. Coming out here, giving some strategy, say, why don't you get him to hit a ground ball? Let's get out of this inning.
That's good managing right there, huh?
Good managing.
Did you try that with some?
Oh, so many times. They never listen.
No, they don't listen to that.
Marty back to the dugout. Gerald Laird will step in. Gerald Laird spent a lot of time last year up with the Rangers. 46 starts, in fact. And a real promising year. Was truncated by 2 months on the DL with an injured right thumb on a play-at-the-plate against Kansas City in late May. Scobie with a strike on his 24th pitch of the inning, 13 of which have been balls.
Gerald Laird was the first rookie catcher to start the season. He opened up behind the plate opening day for Texas, had a great month of April, but then on the 20th of May had his thumb torn up by Ken Harvey in Kansas City.
414 first 8 games, 346 in April. The American League Rookie of the Month for April. Rangers had never had a rookie win that award. This one is way back to left field and gone. And just like that, grand slam Gerald Laird, 5-1 Pacific Coast lead. Wind blowing out, home run friendly Raley Field, and Gerald Laird takes advantage.
Well, he didn't listen to Marty Brown, did he? He went out there, told give me the double play ball, and he got one up in the wheelhouse. And Laird, nice piece of hitting right there, hitting against that front leg. Hips come through, driving out of the ballpark. Good piece of hitting.
Well, he got the ball up above the belt, and Gerald Laird with 14 home runs this year knew what to do with that pitch, and he drove it out of the yard.
Rick Short strokes one in the gap in left center field, and the pounding of Jason Scobie continues. Fourth hit here in the first inning with a couple of walks mixed in, and still only one out, 5-1. Rick Short at first, 8th batter of the inning, Raul Gonzalez will come up.
Now, Rick Short right there is one of those journeyman players we talked about. Started his career in 1994. In Bluefield, West Virginia, the Appalachian League, the Baltimore Orioles organization, and 33rd round draft pick, a guy that just has grinded out his career and finally got an opportunity to get to the major leagues this season.
And a breaking ball strike to Gonzalez. St. Louis product in the Memphis Redbirds roster, AAA Norfolk last year. Signed by Cleveland May 20th, minor league free agent contract. And went immediately to the Buffalo Bisons. Up briefly with Cleveland, 7 games, a couple of starts, right back down early July for the rest of the season. Has been the MVP of the International League 2002 with Louisville. 31st pitch of the inning. Line hard and foul, 1-2.
Well, Raul Gonzalez has always been a hitter his entire career. He works the count. He doesn't strike out much. Gets his walks. He's always hit for a high average. Never really had power. And when he's had his opportunities at the major league level, he's tried to be something that he's not. Every time he's gotten to the big leagues, and we traded for him with the Mets, he tried to all of a sudden think that he had to hit for power to stay in the major leagues instead of just being who he was. And that's a guy who got on base and hit some doubles. And that's what's kept him away out of the big leagues as a consistent player.
Maybe the end of the inning here, but no, a little bit of a low throw from Upton to Gautreaux, and Gonzalez reaches on the fielder's choice. Short retired at second. And last the second out at the bottom of the first.
Certainly wasn't a double play ball, but Gerald Laird, who hit that grand slam, has to be pretty excited about the start to his game. B.J. Upton shaking his head over that last play. I don't think they had a chance to turn the 2 at all.
Actually, I don't think so either.
So the PCL bats around. Center fielder Tyrell Godwin at 325 for the New Orleans Zephyrs. And he sends the first pitch right through Troy Fullwood, the first base umpire, who says it was foul. Worth another look.
A lot of good athletes on the field.
He just swallowed his tongue on that one.
Yeah, watch the umpire at first base camped outside the line, and he's got to do a dance quickly to get out of the way of that ball. Just about 6 inches outside. Tyrell Godwin has a nice laugh about that one.
Godwin, former Blue Jays third rounder out of North Carolina, which he attended on an academic scholarship, Moorhead Scholarship, Tar Heels' most prestigious academic award. High school valedictorian. In the air, left field, toward the line, Griffin. And the first inning is over. Gerald Laird with a grand slam home run. In what had to seem an endless first inning for Jason Scobie. International League scored 1 in their half of the first, but PCL puts up 5.
Since 1978, the Hawaii Ironman's 140-mile human blast furnace has scorched the circuitry of the world's fittest athletes, like pro triathlete Chris Lee, who in '97 would bow to the unforgiving terrain of Kona.
I was so dehydrated, my body just shut down with 50 meters left.
It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It was hard to watch, let alone film.
At that point, the race meant nothing.
6 years of setbacks landed Chris at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute.
Well, like most athletes, Chris had no idea how much sweat he was losing.
With the new hydration strategy in hand, Chris snapped the tape at the 2004 Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
I guess your stuff works.
And Gatorade continues to fuel athletes everywhere, from the hardwood to the gridiron to the lava fields of Hawaii. The games never end, and the legend continues.
If you do your best thinking in the shower, imagine how smart you'll get under the new shower heads at Holiday Inn Express.
Proving that my client is innocent.
Case dismissed. 5.
Next.
I'd like to patent the dog talker.
Nice hair.
Holy. Deficit's gone, Mr. President.
Terrific.
Which accounting firm are you with?
Oh, I'm not an accountant.
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Home of the River Cats, Sacramento, California. We move to the second of the AAA All-Star game. And 64 pitches in the first inning to make it 5-1, the Pacific Coast lead on Gerald Laird's grand slam. So in the second inning, Ryan Garco, Edwin Encarnacion, and Michael Vento for the International League. They got a run in the first on the Jake Gautreau single, Mitch Jones single, and John Ford Griffin sacrifice fly. So here's Garco, catcher with Buffalo. Cleveland AAA, and he takes a strike. At Stanford, winner of the Johnny Bench Award, which goes to the top collegiate catcher in the country in 2003. With .402 that year, led the Cardinals to the finals of the College World Series. Gissell armed with a 4-run lead. Nothing but strikes so far to Garco.
A third-round pick, 2003 draft. And again, a guy that hits the ball to all fields. The power's going to come. Great makeup, though. A lot of leadership skills in this kid. And they've got him behind the plate doing some catching, but also playing first base 2 or 3 days a week. I think you're going to start to see more of a transition of him going to first base. You see the bottom question there, can he be a catcher? A lot of thoughts that they're grooming him to play first base. The Indians team right now, as they're currently constituted in the major leagues, is short one big right-handed bat. They need a right-handed bat to break up the lefties in that lineup. They're hoping he'll develop into that guy in the future.
Second straight strikeout for Gissell. Garco is retired. Gary Miller's with one of the veterans.
Here with Rick Short, and Rick, it's been a long journey, but I guess 2005 was worth the wait. You get up with the Nationals a couple of times this year. You get in the AAA All-Star game. What has changed for you in your baseball life in 2005?
I think I've just relaxed a little bit more. You know, I mean, I can finally say I made it, and you know, I come out here every day and just appreciate being here, and you know, it's a weight off my shoulders, and no one can ever take it from me.
You know, you took from yourself being part of history. You went up, you got a hit, your only major league at bat, and then you went back down. You've been on kind of this roller coaster subway back and forth, but for a while, you were one of only 3 people who had ever had just one at bat in the major leagues and had a hit.
Yeah, I heard I was the modern day Moonlight Graham, but you know, it was a great experience. I got my feet wet, and you know, all the guys were kidding me. It was a cup of coffee, and I got it to go. So it was quick. I got to experience it. You know, they got a good thing going in Washington right now, and the city's rallied around that team. It was a great atmosphere, and you know, I obviously hope to make it back.
Yeah, and you got a hit here in the AAA All-Star game. It's a great 2005 Rick Short, guys.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Encarnacion. Moonlight Graham referred to the character played by Burt Lancaster in Field of Dreams. 1 major league at bat. And so far, that's the sum total of the ref. Designated short. This is a deep drive by Encarnacion, and it is gone to left center field. 5-2. Encarnacion up just in the last couple of weeks with the Cincinnati Reds. 13 home runs in AAA at the All-Star break, and a solo shot here with 1 out in the second.
Well, we talked about him in the open, and this kid's got a lot of potential with the bat. Great power right there. Let the ball get deep into the zone. Hitting against that front leg, rotating through, and the power comes up through the bat, drives it out of the gap.
Encarnacion got his first major league hit against Andy Pettit. 1st of July, and he got a little taste for the major leagues. And Steve, as you mentioned, it sounds as though they're ready to move Joe Randa out of there and put him next to Felipe Lopez and give them the left side of their infield for a number of years.
Michael Bento grounds out to Herman at short. 2 gone in the second.
Well, that's the plan. I mean, Joe Randa's on a 1-year contract with the Reds struggling as they are. I think that Joe Randa's obviously going to get traded at the deadline. I think he'd be a good pickup for somebody. I think good offensive player, solid player. The Reds got to start thinking about the future, and this kid's going to be part of that future. I mean, what an athletic body. And he's going to get bigger and stronger and fill out even more. He could be a force.
Here's Chip Ambrose, Pawtucket Red Sox. Center fielder with a .302 average. 25 years of age, out of Beaumont, Texas. Originally signed as a quarterback with Texas A&M, but never enrolled. Signed instead with the Marlins. Lots of football offers. Texas A&M, Nebraska. And the 2-0 pitch, line to right, coming in Matt Watson to make the grab. But Encarnacion with a solo home run here in the second inning. And the ball continues to fly out on this 100-degree night at Raley Field. The odyssey of 36-year-old Ernie Young, still with the dreams of a Major League veteran when we return.
It's here. It's hot. It's a revolution in activewear. It's the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. The powerful look in pain relief that everyone's wearing. To get sore muscles moving and relieve achy joints so they stay active longer. Ready to wear wherever you hurt. It delivers deep Bengay heat and lasts up to 8 hours. So put on lasting relief designed by the best. Try the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
It's time lenders treated people with respect. That's why eLoan offers home equity loans with faster responses and rates as low as 5.49%. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
This Friday, it's the magical event you've all been waiting for.
It's wedding season. Bingo.
Okay, let's do our pregame.
I'm going to dance with the little flower girl. I might be the charter member of Oprah's book club.
It's all deadly.
Yes.
I'll see you in a little. Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn.
Grab that net and catch that beautiful butterfly, pal.
In the summer's one indisputable laugh riot, says Rolling Stone. Wedding Crashers.
Play the motorboat? What is wrong with you?
Oh, please don't take a turn to negative town. Rated R starts Friday.
When you you hit the road, you expect your car to perform well. But if your engine isn't clean, it may not perform at its best. Shell V-Power Premium Gasoline can help. It actively cleans your engine for better performance. So no matter where you're going, with Shell V-Power, you'll be able to enjoy the performance. Shell V-Power actively cleans for better performance.
There's an easy way to save even more at Motel 6. Just book online at motel6.com. You can't miss. Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA.
Jill Laird's grand slam in the first. The story 5-2 Pacific Coast League as they hit the second inning. New pitcher, 22-year-old Abe Alvarez, Red Sox #2 pick 2 years ago out of Long Beach State.
Abe Alvarez at Pawtucket this year made 17 starts, a 7-4 record. Yeah, a little bit inflated, but he can strike out. Got a big sweeping breaking ball. He made his major league debut last year. He was called up from Double-A to make a spot start, and he started against the Baltimore Orioles at Fenway Park.
UCL batted around in the first, so once again, Herman leads off the inning. He walked, came around to score. Alvarez wears that hat slightly askew for a very good reason. He is legally blind in one eye because of complications from the infection shortly after birth. And the hat is worn that way to shield his right eye from too much light. 1-1 pitch hit well, right center field, and over for a look was Ambrose, but it's past him into the wall. And a leadoff double in the second for Herman. And let's again check in with Gary Miller.
Dave, I'm here with Ernie Young, and Ernie, you were in this game last year, but obviously what you want to do is get back up to the big leagues. You've been with a number of organizations, and how does your perspective change? What do your dreams, your goals change after being around this long, 35, and playing with these guys who have just been the pros a couple of years?
Well, 36 now as of July 8th, but you know what? I just like going out there playing, having fun. You know, there's a lot of guys on this team that you know, love playing baseball, and I feed off of them. You know, their enthusiasm gets me going.
You play year-round, don't you?
I play after this is over. I'm sure I'll be going to somebody's winter ball to play as well. Hey, I can't get baseball out of my system.
You've been in the PCL a couple of different times when you were with the Oakland A's and went up to there. How much would you love to hit in the PCL as opposed to the International League, the difference in the ballparks and the altitude?
Oh, it's definitely a big difference. Prior to 2003, all my AAA experience had come in the PCL. Well, I've had, you know, good power numbers, and then going to the IL, you know, it's been a little different because the ballparks are a little bit bigger, weather's terrible, and, you know, just getting used to different pitchers.
What trait does our little 4-year-old here have most that reflects your game, Ernie?
Oh, he just loves being out here. He loves hanging out with Dad. He loves popsicles.
Oh, do you like popsicles too, Ernie?
Especially on a hot, yeah, I love sweets.
All right, well, he's working on that part of his game right now. That's what they do at that age, guys.
Double by Andy Green. Sends home Esteban Herman, who had doubled. Elijah
has been the hit of this All-Star week here. He was at the home run contest, served as the water boy, and he's having a blast spending his time with his dad.
He's a cute little guy, and you're right. He loves being in the dugout, just hanging around, playing with the water cooler, pouring water around, and get drinks for the ball players.
Connor Jackson, RBI single in the first. He scored on the Laird grand slam. 6-2 PCL. In just an inning plus, Abe Alvarez in relief of Jason Scobie, the starter. Andy Green at second after his RBI double. He's 2 for 2. Abe Alvarez, native of Fontana, California. Dad, a Dodger fan, used to take him to Dodger Stadium to watch Fernando Valenzuela.
Talking to some of the hitters in the National League, and they say, well, you know, he's kind of a guy that you never get a real good read on because he changes speed so effectively. He's got a tough delivery to pick up the ball from, and he's got a big sweeping breaking ball that you have a tendency to give up on.
0-2 pitch is fouled out of play.
Abe Alvarez looks a little bit, he's got the mix of the CC Sabathia hat and the Gustavo Chassin glasses going for himself right now. Talked about the childhood infection in the eye that caused the problems. And he hits his spots, as you said, Buck. He changes speeds, mixes it around, commands all his pitches, and has to pitch backwards at times, throwing his fastball and breaking ball counts and his breaking ball and fastball counts.
Well, there's a lot of people looking at that saying, how is it at all possible, as hard a game as baseball is, that ball flying around 100+ miles an hour off the bat, that a pitcher could play with one eye?
Yeah, it's incredible because you can imagine what the depth perception is like and the challenge that is. A ball coming back at the mound certainly has to be something that he's overcome. Just the fear factor. You stand just 60 feet 6 inches away and that ball gets back to you. And certainly you got to give him an awful lot of credit for being able to succeed in professional baseball.
Well, your point's a good one. The depth perception issue, really being able to throw your pitches and know when to start your break and everything else with your breaking ball. It's give a lot of credit to be able to handle that.
2-2 pitch off the fifth, placed well. Base hit into short right by Connor Jackson. And he's 2 for 2. Andy Green stopping at third.
Something about good hitters always seem to find that way to bloop it over the infielder's head. I know when I just used to go, I used to pop it up, they'd catch it. They caught it every time I hit that jam shot.
Well, a lot of this has to do with his approach because he's never trying to pull the ball. He stays inside the ball very effectively, and because of that, he can take that inside pitch and fight it off. And you can see he is a total commitment swing guy, quick stride, gets that foot down in a hurry, and really turns that bat loose, and he's strong enough to fight off that inside pitch.
Mike Coolball, a cleanup hitter, who had the distinction of making the first out in the first inning. And by the time the second out was recorded, it was 5-1. 68 runs batted in.
Well, we talk about so many of these players spending time away from their family, and Mike wanted to say hi to his boys Joe and Jake down in Texas with Mike's brother Scott. He's also a pretty good ball player.
Yes, he was.
Cool ball at one time. Seen as the Texas Rangers third baseman of the future in the early 90s.
Mike got to bring his wife Mandy here and had to leave the boys home. So he said, you got to make sure you say hi to my boys. They're up late at night and they want to see Dad come through with a hit here.
Mike, a part of the 2000 U.S. Olympic team in Sydney. Misses that one, 2-2. Blue Jays draftee 15 years ago, Roosevelt High School in San Antonio. Green at third, Jackson at first, and the 2-2 curve is a call, strike 3. First out, bottom of the second inning.
Now there's that breaking ball. It's so tough for right-handers. You see it so far off the outside corner, you have a tendency to give up on it. And the late break brings it down over the outside corner. A big sweeping breaking ball, and watch Coolball step and stride and then give up on that ball as it catches the outside corner for the strikeout.
Coolball 0 for 2. Here's Matt Watson. A walk and a run from the year in Sacramento. The River Cat All-Star batting fifth in right field out of Xavier University. 5th career batting average for the Musketeers. Expos minor league player of the year 2001, a couple of years after they had drafted him 16th out of Xavier.
You know, bats like this for Matt Watson are always important, even in an all-star game, because he's the kind of guy, if he goes to the major leagues, he's going to be an extra outfielder, a pinch hitter. There will be times when he's brought in to hit, that the other team's going to bring the lefty reliever in who might throw a breaking ball. He has to keep showing that he can hit those guys.
The 0-2 pitch, right center field, and grabbing it knee-high, Ambrose, as Andy Green tags and scores. Second run here in the inning, 7-2 PCL. And the reason they were staked to the big lead in the first inning, Gerald Laird's grand slam to left field.
Gerald Laird's got a lot of power, and he got that ball up about belt high, and he hammers it into left field. He had 14 home runs first half of the season, and there was some question as to whether or not he would play in this game because he came to the ballpark today with a terribly stiff neck. He said he could barely turn his neck, and he said maybe I'll stay on the ball better. And sure enough, he did.
How about that? First grand slam in the history of this game. This is the 18th AAA All-Star game. Nice distinction. The ball's in one strike from Alvarez. And a little chopper for Edwin Encarnacion. And the end of the second inning, but the PCL scores twice off Abe Alvarez, and it is 7-2 through 2 in Sacramento.
Attention everyone. Effective immediately, all customers will receive the Saturn employee discount price. On all new 2005 vehicles, you pay what we pay, not a cent more.
Dibs! Dibs! We got dibs on this one. Dibs over here. Dibs!
Dibs! I got dibs on this one.
I got dibs. Dibs.
Yeah, I got dibs. Uh-huh.
Get a new 5-star crash safety rated Saturn Vue at the employee discount price of $15,076.
We're self-made too. One small business at a time is how we've grown. That's why we're incredibly proud of the fact that more small businesses in America bank with us than any other bank. In fact, 1 in 4 small businesses in California have chosen Bank of America. 1 in 5 in the Northwest, 1 in 5 in the Southwest, and 1 in 5 in the Northeast. More small businesses in more places bank with us than any other bank, over 2 million. To us, that's thrilling. Do you know what it means to be able to say that to a small business owner who wants to know that we understand their business? I'm Lori Chevy. I'm a banker, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America. We know every single small business is unique, so we build the teams, customize the solutions, and offer the most sophisticated tools, advice, and service there is. Small business owners put it on the line every day, and every day we're proud to be in their corner.
Bank of America. Higher standards.
Sun setting as you look at the Tower Bridge across the Sacramento River. Raley Field in West Sacramento. Dave Barnett, Steve Phillips, Buck Martinez. And the 18th AAA All-Star game. We move into the third inning, 7-2. Home runs continuing to fly out. Grand slam by Gerald Laird, taking the PCL with a big first inning lead. And the second pitcher is on for the PCL, Clay Hensley, 25-year-old right-handed native of Tomball, Texas, from the San Diego Padres, Portland Beavers.
Clay Hensley made 13 starts this season for Portland. Very good ERA at 3.02, just 59 hits in 83 in the third innings, and Hensley is in his 4th professional season in San Diego. Started out originally as a number 8-round pick of the Giants. And it's got a pretty good fastball. They throw as high as 92, 93 miles an hour. He's got one of the old-fashioned 12-6 curveballs.
International League with top of the order here in the third, led by B.J. Upton, who grounded to third his first trip. B.J., the number 2 overall pick in the draft, 2002, a major leaguer last year at age 19 with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Well, when you talk about B.J. Upton, you use the same names as Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Gary Sheffield, that type of ability. And he draws those comparisons because of his physical tools.
Normally starts with a strike. Some people say a 5-tool player. Can you say that about a guy who's got 30 errors at the All-Star break?
I still think you have to give him some room to grow. I mean, even Ozzie Smith made a lot of errors in the big leagues when he first hit the scene, and he made himself into a Gold Glove player.
So I think when you evaluate a player's tools, a lot of times what scouts do is they grade him in the present, but they also grade him into the future. And I think with a guy who's 20 years old at AAA, you have to use some projection about how he's going to develop and how he's going to improve. Now, you have to have some belief in his abilities, that he has soft hands, that he has good feet to be able to make the throw, because a lot of his throws are throwing errors, and I think right now he rushes himself. He needs to slow down. That's a good trait for a young infielder. You'd much rather have to slow him down to tail him back a little bit instead of having to get him to become more aggressive. And he wants to play shortstop. That's the one thing. He thinks he's a shortstop. He wants to play it. Those are good signs that he's going to figure it out.
2-2 pitch right back to Hensley, who bobbles it and then finally throws up to none. Last year's game played in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And in Red Sox Nation, a Yankee farmhand became the unlikely hero as Andy Phillips drilled this walk-off home run, making winners of the International League and earning rare cheers for a pinstripe player in New England. 10-inning win, 4-3.
Looks like they're playing for home field advantage or something. I'll tell you what, they look like they wanted to win that game.
I tell you, that was a great atmosphere the way that game ended. To see that walk-off home run, and then the entire team came to home plate to celebrate along with Andy Phillips.
Jake Gautreau singled and scored. 0-1 from Hensley. Acquired by the Padres from the Giants in the Matt Burgess deal. The 0-1 swung on and missed.
Pretty good changeup there with movement down and away. You talk about that Burgess deal, and then get a starter with a very good fastball and a lot of movement on his pitches, plus the fact he can get his breaking ball over when he's behind in the count.
Short work of Gautreau. 2 quick outs here in the third.
Tell you what, he's got very good stuff right there. I mean, good changeup, very good breaking ball. He's been tough to hit all year.
Yeah, they gave him the entire complement of pitches right there and polished him off with that overhand hook.
It's a good-looking uniform right there, too. I like that.
Boy, the Portland Beavers, they've been in the PCL forever. They have Multnomah Stadium in Portland.
Here's Mitch Jones. He singled his first trip. Native of Orem, Utah swings. First pitch, 7th round pick, Arizona State product by the Yankees in 2000.
Now he's played in the outfield, corner outfield most of the time, and this spring they moved him to first base with the uncertainty of Jason Giambi, just exactly what was going to happen with Giambi, and they felt like Mitch Jones had the power to play first base. And Giambi, boy, did he turn it on the last couple of weeks in New York.
He has turned it on. You know, for these young guys, for Mitch Jones and also for Michael Vento, you know, they've got to be kind of wondering, well, geez, Melky Cabrera was playing at AA. He came up to play at AAA for a couple days. He's now in the major leagues. What about us? We're putting up some pretty significant numbers here. Why can't we break in?
Well, if you're at Columbus right now and you're putting up numbers the way Mitch Jones is, you have to think, well, maybe I'll be the guy that's included in the deal when the Yankees go out to add to their pitching staff.
Right.
Ray Hensley, easily the most impressive pitcher we've seen yet. 12 pitches, 8 strikes. After striking out Gautreau, he's 2-2 to Jones. Seems in command out there. Works quickly and strikes out Mitch Jones as well to end the third inning. First 1-2-3 inning. And when we return, Abe Alvarez will chat with Gary Miller here in Sacramento at the AAA All-Star Game.
Tonight on SportsCenter, the NHL is back, why it could be better than ever. Plus, Michelle Wee faces elimination. Why the British Open is Tigers to lose, and will we ever see another Brett Favre? It's SportsCenter, 11 Eastern.
The world's best poker players are in Vegas for the richest tournament the game has ever seen. Welcome to the World Series of Poker, part of Poker Night on ESPN. Premieres Tuesday at 8.
The summer, experience the thrills and excitement of World Team Tennis's league champions, the Newport Beach Breakers. With only 7 home matches from July 5th to 24th, you don't want to miss your opportunity to watch top players like Anna Kournikova, Maria Sharapova, and Patrick Rafter up close and personal at the beautiful Palisades Tennis Club.
Watch these champions live and visit CoxEventsOC.com to receive free tickets to the Newport Breakers July 19th or 20th. Hurry, supplies limited.
Before you leave on your vacation this summer, take a look at your auto insurance. Are you certain that you're getting the best price? You should know Mercury Insurance consistently beats its competitors in head-to-head rate comparisons. California drivers can save over $600 a year. So whatever road you take this summer, take Mercury along.
Mercury Insurance, going the extra mile for you. Click on mercuryinsurance.com or call 888-4-MERCURY.
14,000 plus at Raley Field in Sacramento. Bottom of the third in the AAA All-Star game, 7-2 for the home Pacific Coast League and down to Gary Miller.
Well, here's a guy who's probably more familiar with the Pacific Coast League, having grown up in Los Angeles, pitched for Long Beach State and the Dirtbags there. But Abe, you're a Paw Sox now, you're a Red Sox. You got up for a game last year. It's been quite a whirlwind for you, just like a lot of these guys here. Last year you pitched for the Red Sox. They end up winning the World Series. This year you're in the AAA All-Star game. How have these 2 years been for you?
They've been incredible. I mean, last year getting that Premier League debut and pitching up there and just sitting at home and watching them come back against the Yankees and win the World Series. It was great. And now this year, I mean, I made another step to AAA, and lucky enough got here and got voted into the AAA All-Star team.
One of the things we wondered about since you pitched that one game, it didn't go that great, but at least you got up with the Red Sox and they won the World Series. Do you get a share, and did you get a ring?
Yeah, I got a ring. I have it in the locker room right now. And, I got a small share just because I was up for that day, but it's incredible how those guys treated every guy who went up there.
Yeah, tell me about getting the ring, how that came about and how they presented it to you.
I didn't know about it until spring training, and in spring training that they're doing the ring sizes, and I asked one of the guys if they saw my name up on the list, and like, yeah, go up there, you know, go get it checked out, and got sized. They flew me out for the ring ceremony, walked out there with every single guy, had a jersey on. It was incredible with the crowd up there. It was a great feeling to get that ring.
Yeah, and you'll be able to go revisit them and share the hardware with him. He goes back up to Boston. You can imagine that's a popular artifact here at the AAA All-Star game, guys.
Yep, and Rick Short grounds one to Upton, and there's an error. First of this game as Willie Ayr throws to his first hitter, Rick Short, who reaches on the error by B.J. Upton.
Well, one of the things B.J. Upton has to work on is his concentration and his focus. That's one of the issues. His physical ability is ahead of his mental and emotional ability right now. That's a routine play that he just kind of elapsed in concentration. A little bit too routine, and in the transfer drops the ball. And that's the challenge when you have a young talent like Upton. His physical skills are so far advanced from his emotional development that when is he ready to be a big one?
High chopper handled by Encarnacion, and he gets the out at second base. Willie Ayr, as we said, is on the mound now. 8 days away from his 27th birthday. Willie Ayr is, as you would probably assume, with the spelling of the last name, E-Y-R-E, the brother of Scott Ayr.
Willie Ayr has really come into his own this year. 8-2 record for the Rochester Red Wings in the Minnesota Twins organization. And all of the hitters talk about a great cut fastball, how he really runs it in on the hands of the left-handers.
Godwin. Upton handles the double play ball this time. And Ayr faces the minimum at the bottom of the third. We're through 3 at Sacramento, 7-2 PCA.
Absolutely. We have free checking with direct deposit, so you can pay your bills and get your money however you want, without paying us.
Even if I get cash from a Bank of America ATM 100 times a month?
That would be free.
Even when I pay my bills online?
It's free. You can pay almost any bill.
So if I had 65 bills...
As many as you want.
Oh, and if somebody uses my debit card, if it gets stolen or something?
You're covered.
Free checking plus, plus, plus.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
From Bank of America. Higher standards.
There are no gas grills at the Great Lenexa Barbecue Battle.
No gas.
Why not?
You don't get the flavor with gas. Charcoal is the thing.
Any particular charcoal?
It's Kingsford.
Yeah?
Kingsford.
For the taste?
Yeah. You get a better flavor out of your meat.
Kingsford, because taste is everything.
Coach says, why pay more to stay somewhere else? Just slide into Motel 6. It's clean, comfortable, and always a steal. Good one, Coach.
We'll leave the light on for you. And Accor Hotel.
Ow. Ouch, Dave. I'd fix myself, but I am a wall.
You let it dry, sand it, paint it. Door stop.
What's that? Nothing.
Ace, the helpful place.
Diet 7-Up is now sweetened with Splenda brand sweetener, which is why it tastes so, dare we say it, splendid. For the splendid tasting Diet Lemon Lime, the only way to go is up.
I'm here to show you how the new Right Guard Extreme Power Stripe works. Let's say these guys are the Power Stripe.
Red Rover, we call Billy over.
And this guy's Odor. But now it's 25% stronger because we supercharged the Stripe with Dry Tech.
Red Rover, we call T-O-Over.
You do not want to be Odor.
We call Japan over.
No, get more extreme, get Right Guard.
Not sure what the attendance figure will be. It's got to be a record, though, because everywhere you look, every possible spot, and this includes the berms in the outfield, there are AAA baseball fans, fans of the River Cat franchise here in Sacramento, which moved down in 2000. Raley Field, built that year. Every year since has featured the top attendance in minor league baseball. Third pitcher for the PCL from Memphis, Kevin Jarvis, a veteran. He's about to turn 36.
Kevin Jarvis has a major league record of 34-47. He's made 114 big league starts, and his goal is to get back there and start in the big leagues. And this year at Memphis, 15 starts, a very good record of 7-2. And Kevin Jarvis was the 26th man on a 25-man roster in spring training. He was cut, he was let go, and as he said earlier, he told me, I was the 26th man on the best team in baseball. And that's what we think about the Cardinals. And, of course, that 5-man rotation they have in St. Louis, very difficult to break into. But he feels I'm still playing because I think I'm a phone call away from starting on somebody's big league club.
This is John Ford Griffin. He rips a base hit to right. Griffin, who had a sacrifice fly to score the first run of the game for the IL in the first. Kevin Jarvis, lots of major league experience, 178 career games, 114 starts, 34 wins, and as recently as 2001, a solid 12-11 with the Padres.
Well, he's had some success in his career, and he earned himself a big contract as well from that success. He was making $4.25 million a couple years ago. And, now he's back in AAA and trying to pay the price to get back to the major leagues. That's what's so unique about the AAA level, is that you have so many players moving in different directions in their career. You have a guy like Jarvis who's made the big money, who's had the success in his career. You have Ernie Young, who's bounced around 15 years in the minor leagues, 36 years old. Then you have B.J. Upton, 20-year-old talent, trying to move forward to become a star. You've got guys going in every different direction.
Ernie Young played 8 seasons in the big leagues, and his best year was in Oakland when he played 146 games, and he just loves playing. And we heard him talk earlier about the thrill of coming out here and feeding off the enthusiasm of these young teammates of his in this AAA All-Star game. And when you think about Kevin Jarvis, the same thing is true. He knows what it is to get to the big leagues and have success on that level. And he's 2 years removed from his elbow surgery, so now he feels like he is that much closer to recapturing what he had before.
Nearly 36-year-old Kevin Jarvis working to 36-year-old Ernie Young. Ball and 2 strikes. Ernie with the Royals, Diamondbacks, Tigers, Indians, and as Buck said, most of his major league experience with Oakland. And Steve, if anybody's running a major league club and they look at Ernie Young's experience and they're looking for somebody to work with minor league players, isn't he a great candidate to manage at this level?
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. I asked him yesterday at the workout, I said, when your career is over, and whatever that is, what is it that you want to do? Do you want to coach? Want to teach? What is it that you want to do? He said, I want to make decisions. So he said, right now, when I'm watching, I'm evaluating players. And so that's interesting. I think he's looking at more scouting, front office type future.
Herman, the out at second, and with the stretch by Connor Jackson, double play. 6-4-3. 30 or older. Ernie Young Young, the elder statesman. Dick Derensburg is 34. Chris Coast, who has yet to see Major League action, 32. Mark Corey and Jeff Leifer, also 30 and above for the International League All-Star team this year.
Well, that group of players right there, every offseason has a decision to make about where to sign for the following year. So they're evaluating organizations and opportunities to see where it is that they're going to play. So when they're out in the market and they have 5 or 6 teams interested in them, they're evaluating that team's major league players. They're evaluating who they're competing against at AAA, and they're competing what prospects are coming that might have to get playing time going to AAA, trying to sort through the best opportunity to put himself in place. When I look at Kevin Jarvis and I looked at the Cardinals rotation, it doesn't look like a good fit to me. Yeah. They've got 5 solid pitchers there. If I'm him, I'm going to a Tampa Bay or a young team that maybe I'll get an opportunity to get to the big leagues more quickly.
He spears the shot right back to him by Ryan Garco. And Kevin Jarvis faces the minimum in the 4th inning. And it remains 7-2 in the AAA All-Star game.
Hi, I'm Kurt Schilling.
I'm Shonda Schilling for the ALS Association.
ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, is a devastating illness that robs patients of the simple joy of playing with their kids. It destroys their ability to speak, walk, and breathe.
But there is hope. The ALS Association offers the most comprehensive patient services and leads the field in research. Please join us in lighting the way for a treatment and a cure.
Here's how you can get more information about ALS and the ALS Association.
Honey, these seats are so good.
It's one of the worst moments you may ever experience. Allstate wants you to be prepared because it could happen to you. That's why having quality car insurance is important. You want to be well protected. You want a good price. Drivers who switch to Allstate saved an average of $338 a year.
Quality car insurance should be affordable. That's Allstate's stand. Are you in good hands?
Stop treating me like a dead shrub, Nancy. I'm gonna beat this thing.
Eat it once a week. Should be okay. Thanks, Jen. No problem, Nancy.
Ah, hey, look at me.
Ace, the helpful place.
Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio.
There's one thing baseball fans can agree on. It's Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio. Only XM brings you every team all season long, plus 100% commercial-free music. Beyond AM, beyond FM. XM Satellite Radio.
People should be treated fairly. That's why eLoan has fought for the strictest privacy laws in the industry. Check out our current monthly mortgage options. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
ESPN2's AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by AXA Financial, one of the premier financial services organizations in the United States and a worldwide leader in financial protection and wealth management. And Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Back here in Sacramento with the PCL leading the IL in the AAA All-Star Game, 7-2. We reached the bottom of the 4th. And we've seen a pitcher an inning so far for the International League. And now from the Charlotte Knights, Jeff Bajanero. 27-year-old right-hander deals to Esteban Herman, who has walked, doubled, and scored twice.
You talk about a pitching-rich organization, the Chicago White Sox right now. They have a tremendous team running away with the American League Central based on the strength of their pitching staff. And they have expanded that to the minor leagues as well. Bajanero out of the University of Oklahoma is having a fine season down in AAA, working out of the bullpen. He has 12 saves and has recorded 57 strikeouts in 47 2/3 innings.
Brief call up last September. All Big 12 as an outfielder and pitcher at Oklahoma. 1-2 to Herman. It looked like to you that to have a shot now with the White Sox, you got to be somebody who personality-wise fits with Ozzie Guillen, because it seems like he's gathering a certain type of player.
They call baseball players. guys that understand that you have to go out and play every aspect of the game. You have to run, you have to hit, you have to play defense. If you're a pitcher, you have to be athletic, and you have to throw strikes. Look at Mark Burley, who started in the All-Star game last night. He grabs it and throws it over and challenges you to put it in play. Kind of a no-nonsense approach that works very well in Chicago.
How refreshing. And Herman stays alive against Bajanero. Herman from the Oklahoma Redhawks. Bajanero, the former Oklahoma Sooner, in the 4th inning.
Steve, in your situation as a GM, I mean, how important is it for a guy like Kenny Williams to back up what Ozzie Guillen is doing there?
Well, I mean, the whole story in Chicago has just been great. I mean, with Kenny Williams, to have the plan that they put together and have it work has been tremendous.
Gautreaux handles the chopper. 1 gone in the 4th. Yankees Red Sox coming up Sunday night, part of Rivalry Week presented by Bank of America on ESPN. 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, last game of the second half opening 4-game series. Kurt Schilling activated today for the Red Sox. And the 2005 ESPY Awards at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. 3-time Athlete of the Year winners Lance Armstrong and Annika Sorenstam try to take home the hardware once again. Matthew Perry is the host. The 2005 ESPYs, 9 Eastern, Sunday night on ESPN. Andy Green, 2 for 2, a single, an RBI double, and has scored twice. With .346 average, 13 home runs, 58 runs batted in. Really here in the last inning, Bajanero so far here in the 4th. At least stopping the bleeding. Jason Scobie roughed up in his only inning. He was the starter. 5 runs on 4 hits, including Gerald Laird's grand slam. Abe Alvarez touched up for 2 runs on 3 hits, a couple of doubles in the second. Pitch to Green. It's foul back.
I think you've seen a trend in baseball the last year and a half or so where teams like the White Sox are going to athletic players that can do a lot of things, and that's where Andy Green becomes a prospect again, because he fits into that mold, do a lot of things, a lot of the intangibles that will be able to help a team win.
Yeah, I agree. He is clearly a National League player. You look at what he's doing right now. 52 games at second base, 12 at third base, 5 at shortstop, 19 in the outfield, and he can hit. That is a National League manager's dream come true. It's a Sean Figgins in the National League type guy. He plays a lot of positions. He can play it defensively adequately, and he can hit. Very valuable player.
He's behind the fastball by Bajanero, and there are 2 gone in the 4th inning. So now Connor Jackson listed by Baseball America as the Diamondbacks' #2 prospect. Pure hitter, first season at first, moving from the outfield.
Well, he mentioned it when he went to spring training this year. They met him and handed him a first baseman's glove and said, "This is your new position, young man, and go to work at it." He doesn't seem to have any problems at all putting up big numbers in AAA this season. And we mentioned he's hit 300 at every level he's played in professional ball.
Connor Jackson appeared in a commercial at age 12. That hard for him to nail because he's the son of John Jackson, who has been a regular on the CBS series Jag for a number of years, also in the movies A Few Good Men and Perfect World. Connor Jackson says 99% of me wants to be a major leaguer, maybe 1% wants to be an actor. And you would think with that list of credentials, at some point he's going to get a pretty good shot at being a major leaguer.
Maybe what he could do is maybe he can win an ESPY and tell a joke when he's receiving his award or something. Because this guy, listen, you better make it 100% baseball, because baseball is going to be this kid's career. There's no question about it. And he's going to be an extraordinary talent. I mean, we keep going on and on, but in this game, you get a chance to see some stars. And he's going to be one of those players that we're going to look back several years from now and say, remember when he played the AAA All-Star game? He's that talented.
1-2.
Well, he came out of El Camino Real High School in Woodland Hills, California. That's where Randy Wolf pitched as a high school pitcher before he went to Pepperdine. And then Connor Jackson went to Cal. And on his visit at Cal, Xavier Nady was his host and introduced him to Cal baseball. He was impressed to the point where he signed and went there and played third base after Nady left.
As you'd expect, majored in theater and performance studies. Diamondbacks feel that he has the best strike zone discipline in their entire organization, and that includes the current Diamondbacks. And he just showed it there to run the count full. 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored in the first. 2 outs in the fourth, and he works the walk.
Don't you love the people that talk about on-base percentage being a key? I think on-base percentage is a result of a player being a good hitter, like Connor Jackson. There's a great example of having a good at-bat. He puts up good numbers because he has a good approach, and this is what we talked about in the open. 54 walks and 22 strikeouts in this day and age. That's unheard of.
To me, we talk about 5 tools, and I actually think there are 6 tools. We talk about power and speed, the ability to hit for average, to field and arm strength as the 5 tools. To me, the 6th tool is the ability to recognize a ball from a strike, a fastball from a curveball. I don't think that that's something that guys learn over time. They can get a little bit better at it, but most good hitters have that ability, that tool to recognize a ball from a strike, and it makes them such a better hitter than the guy who can't do that. That guy who swings and misses and chases balls out of the zone. It's hard to hit for an average when you do that, and it's hard to hit for power, because to hit for power, you've got to get counts, 2-0, 3-1 counts where you look for a pitch to drive. That's why a guy who hits for an average will ultimately hit for power, because they learn that in a certain count, I can now try to yank one and look for a pitch to hit.
54 walks and 22 strikeouts. That's Joe DiMaggio's ratio.
Absolutely.
You do not see that anymore.
And everybody discounts the strikeout now. They will say, well, it's not a big deal. It's only 1 out. I don't agree with that. I think if you have a guy like Connor Jackson that puts the ball in play as frequently as he does, he's always going to hit for a high out.
Vic Derensbourg, veteran left-hander, ready to be next in the Toledo Mud Hens. It is 2-2 to Mike Coolbaugh from the Round Rock Express, and a line drive base hit right center field. Jackson will stop at second. Ambrose quickly gets it in, and with 2 outs, 2 on from Matt Watson. We're in the bottom of the fourth at Raley Field, SRO in West Sacramento, California. The AAA All-Star Game, number 18 in a series that began in 1988. Dave Barnett, Steve Phillips, Buck Martinez. 7-2 for the Pacific Coast League, which got 5 in the first. 4 of those on the grand slam by Gerald Layer. They added 2 more in the second. Single runs in the first and the second for the International League. And here's Matt Watson, hometown favorite, Sacramento River Cat. He has walked and driven a run with a sacrifice fly in the second inning.
Well, Sacramento's known they were going to be the host for this All-Star Game over the last year, and they have a plaque down the first base side that counts down the days till the event. You can see no more days left, but last year, Matt Watson and Dan Johnson would stand in the outfield and say, well, it's just 165 days till we have to clean out our locker. But now Matt Watson has a chance to utilize his own locker because he was named to this All-Star team. And his partner, Dan Johnson, is in the big leagues with the A's. He wants to get back there with them for the second half and make a contribution to their efforts. Boy, they've turned things around.
Unbelievable what the Oakland A's are doing right now.
High to Watson, 2-1. Matt standing around at 102, 103 degrees yesterday, and he said, yeah, I'm pretty hot, but my wife, Nicole, who is 8 months pregnant, has got to be a little bit hotter than me, so you're not going to hear me complain today.
Yeah, you better not complain about a 8-month pregnant woman. 100-degree weather.
You better not complain for any reason, especially not for kids.
That's true.
They have a 19-year-old son named Landon, and appreciate the fact that if he does go to the big leagues, it's not that far away when they're home, just down the road in Oakland.
2-2 to Watson. Lajanero got the first 2 outs quickly here in the fourth inning. And his second strikeout as Watson is retired to leave 2 on. And through 4 in Sacramento, the AAA All-Star game led by the PCL 7-2.
Tomorrow night on ESPN at 8, the N1 Mixtape Tour rolls into town. At 9, the great outdoor games continue with ATVs, speed climbing, and large agility dogs. On ESPN2, bitter rivals meet again. A-Rod and the Yanks head to Fenway to face Manny Ramirez and the Red Sox. At 10, the first ever World Cup of Softball. It's all on tomorrow night. For breaking news and scores, turn to ESPN News.
Looking for a sense of freedom? To go anywhere, do anything freedom in a Subaru from Irvine Subaru. Do anything in an invigorating turbocharged Legacy or the fun sporty Impreza. Go anywhere in a versatile Forester or the exhilarating Outback or Baja. Nice ride. Thanks. Not the Ford, the car, man. Wherever you're going, get there in a Subaru.
Here's a helpful tip from HGTV. Are you leaving more dust in the dustpan than in the trash? Try this quick tip. Before you use your dustpan again, clean it and spray it with household furniture polish. Then wipe it clean to create a super slick surface. Then next time you sweep and pour contents into the trash, the dust should slide right off without sticking to the pan.
Brought to you locally by Tompkins Flooring, Orange County's leader.
We go to the 5th inning in the AAA All-Star game. PCL leading the IL 7-2. 2 New York icons and future Hall of Famers passed through the AAA All-Star game. Mike Piazza, as a member of the Albuquerque Dukes just before his Major League debut with the Dodgers Rookie of the Year season. And Derek Jeter in 1995, who drilled a leadoff double off future All-Star closer Jason Isringhausen.
How come the swings look the same?
It's exactly the same thought I had. Is, you know what? That approach that they had that made them successful in AAA is the thing that they have not abandoned when they became big league players. Both of those guys, Piazza swing, driving the power ball to right center field, and for Jeter, diving out over the plate coverage, poking at the right field. They just look a little older now, but exactly the same approaches at the plate.
Saw the new shortstop, Esteban Herman, is given way to JJ from Maniac. And the new pitcher is Jason Bulger. 6'4" right-hander, former #1 pick by the Diamondbacks in 2001 out of Valdosta State. Edwin Encarnacion, who has gone deep. And a line drive speared by Connor Jackson at first. Encarnacion is robbed to begin the 5th. That easily our defensive play of the night turned in by Connor Jackson.
Well, so much for the adjustment period at first base. Great reactions by Connor Jackson. This has got double written all over it. He dives and spears it. Boy, what a great play by a new first baseman. This is his first year playing first base. He's a former third baseman at Cal. Moved to the outfield when he first signed, and now he's across the diamond at first base.
Michael Bento. Jason Bulger's numbers with the Tucson Sidewinders.
Working in relief. Picked up 3 saves this year.
As we said, their #1 pick 2001. How about the odds on this? 2 of his brothers, Brian and Kevin, selected later in that same 2001 draft, both by the Giants. How proud were their parents?
Kind of difficult catching all their games during the summer.
I'll say, right.
Survivor of Tommy John surgery.
Bulger's a converted infielder. They made him a pitcher, and then after the Tommy John surgery, he was starting before the surgery. They've converted him to a reliever because they thought it would be less taxing on his arm. They'd better be able to protect him.
And he flashes a little glove, too. And robs Michael Bento.
Well, he makes a good play on this hot shot comebacker right at the mound, and watch his follow-through as he's in pretty good position to field it right there. Plant spears it. Once he does that, it's an easy play for him, although he almost airmails the first baseman.
Well, in the National League, you want your pitchers to pitch well, but also field their position and hold runners. And he showed some nice athletic ability right there on that play.
It's his infielder background.
That's right.
Both the sidewinders. Outstanding defensive plays here in the fifth. Here is the center fielder, number 9 hitter Chip Ambrose, who line to right is on the trip. And the Paw Sox. Ambrose, as we said, great high school football player at Beaumont Westbrook High School. Offers from Texas A&M and Nebraska as a quarterback. Actually committed to the Aggies and then ended up signing with the Marlins and never played football.
I asked him if he ever missed football. He said, well, the first year or two I thought about it, but now it's out of his system. He also went to Tulane on a recruiting trip, and Sean King was the guy that showed him around Tulane. I have some thoughts of playing football there in New Orleans.
Speed, as you'd expect, 19 steals already this year, 23 last year, third 20-plus steal season in his 4 minor league years.
Well, he signed a contract for $1.5 million, but it was spread out over 5 years. And what they did is he got $300,000 a year over the 5 years, and it was so that he didn't go play football. That if he played football, he'd forfeit some of the signing bonus that they were giving him on the front end.
An impressive fifth inning turned in by Jason Bulger. 1-2-3. Steve Garvey, former Dodger and Padre great on hand here in Sacramento.
For Sacramento hotel packages and visitor information, visit discovergold.org or call 800-292-2334.
When you hit the road, you expect your car to perform well. But if your engine isn't clean, it may not perform at its best. Shell V-Power Premium Gasoline can help. It actively cleans your engine for better performance. So, no matter where you're going, with Shell V-Power, you'll be able to enjoy the performance. Shell V-Power actively cleans for better performance.
Starbucks double shot espresso drink. Bring on the day.
It's time people who get loans are treated fairly. That's why eLoan has no lender fees. Check out our current monthly refinancing options. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan, radically simple.
There's an easy way to save even more at Motel 6. Just book online at motel6.com. You can't miss. Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA.
Since the AAA All-Star Game's inauguration in 1988, many have gone from this game to become Major League All-Stars. 57 alumni from the AAA game have made the leap. Many have gone on to become perennial All-Stars. The question, who from tonight's game will join these stars as the memorable alumni from the AAA All-Star Game? That's a tough question because at this level, somebody could look like a world beater and then something may catch them at the next level. They may just become somebody that's up for a cup of coffee. They may become the future Chipper Jones or the future Mike Piazza. That what makes this game so much fun to watch and fun to broadcast. And veteran left-hander Vic Derensburg comes on.
Check out the ERA, 0.33. He's allowed with 1 earned run all season long. Vic Derensburg spent 5 parts of 5 seasons with the Florida Marlins before moving on to Colorado and played for the Expos for part of a season. 2004, he split time between the Chicago White Sox and the New York Mets.
Hitting hero, Gerald Laird leads off the 5th. First inning grand slam, the difference in the game.
Well, you get a look at Vic Derensburg's hat right there. That's a mud hen. If you're wondering what's on that hat, that's a Toledo mud hen on his hat.
In the first inning, 1 out, bases loaded. Laird liked what he saw from Jason Scobie and deposited the line drive out to straightaway left.
Well, after Scobie had walked Matt Watson, Gerald Laird was really keyholing it. Got a pitch about belt high out over the plate and hammered it. He's got a lot of power.
That way again, this time a soft base hit to lead off the 5th. And we just saw Steve Garvey. Let's hear from him now. He's with Gary Miller. Well, we'll fix Gary's mic, and we will hear from him and Steve Garvey momentarily. We promise. Rick Short was reached on a single and an error by B.J. Upton. Short, one of the veterans. Foul out of play. Let's try again. Gary with Steve Garvey.
All right, Dave, not sure what you heard. Now I can hear myself, and now we can hear Steve. You were in 10 All-Star games as a player. I don't know if you've missed one since. You were just in Detroit. What brings you to Sacramento?
I love the heat so much. I just wanted to stay warm. The arthritis is moving around. But the AAA, both the PCL and internationally, have their meetings, and we've started a new non-traditional advertising agency for stadiums and arenas, which is pretty exciting. So I gave him a pitch today, a short arm pitch with my arm, and a chance to come out to this great All-Star game. I played about 200 games in the minors, and we didn't have any All-Star games back then. So to come out and see the stars of the future is kind of fun for me.
How envious does it make you to know that you would have been on some? I mean, obviously you made it at the major league level as well, to have had something like this when you were playing minor league ball.
I'm just jealous. I'm telling you, these guys have a great time. There's a fan fest connected to the AAA All-Star festivities, which is fabulous, just like the one, a little smaller scale than Detroit. But it's great for these guys to play against the best peers in their leagues. And it's fun for them tonight. A lot of offense so far, another touchdown on the board. But it's great for baseball. This is, to me, this is the last bastion of what baseball is all about, AAA. After this, it gets more serious. The business changes. The guys may or may not get a little jaded because of the money. Here, they're still striving. They're still getting a little meal money and decent monthly pay, but they're here because they love the game.
Steve, you were around, as I said. You never played in a losing All-Star game. That's pretty amazing in its own right. But how different is it? You're still around the game and you see the way it's played now. How different is it from when you competed to the way it is now?
Well, not only has the business changed, the emphasis by the players has changed, because it's not free agency that changed the game so much, it's arbitration. So now if you come up and have 3 good years, let's take Mike Piazza, for instance, by that 3rd year, you can go to arbitration and go from $360,000 to $8 to $10 million. Because if you had 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, batted 300, and say Cal Ripken did the same and he was making $10 million, you can go to an arbitrator and say, hey, I had the same numbers. And he can't split the difference between the club's offer. He's got to go, okay. So that drives the mean up right away. So the guys go up swinging, and they don't necessarily care about hitting the ball on the right side with a guy in 3rd and less than 2 outs, or going for the sacrifice fly. Everybody's trying to get the runs in, trying to hit the long ball.
Steve, you still look great. Buck and Steve Phillips, I don't understand why he still looks like he did when he was a Dodger and a Padre, and you guys look like you do.
Oh, that's not right.
Well, he was never a general manager, and he never managed.
That's just not right. I mean,
so you just saw the hair of a man who has pretty much done, I think, whatever he wants to do after his playing career. This is what happens when you stay in baseball.
Yeah, you manage and you GM and you get white hair.
That's exactly
no question about it, Gary.
They're dog years when you're working those chops, right? I was a general manager for 42 years. got to be gray.
No balls, and 2 strikes now to Raul Gonzalez. Still 7-2, Pacific Coast lead, and pitching all of a sudden has taken charge of this game. There have been 5 straight scoreless half innings.
Thank goodness.
Well, it's bullpen guys that are pitching in the bullpen all season long, so they come out with a little bit better feel how you shut things down. They've done it very effectively.
Well, it's just because I think maybe some of the starting pitchers struggled because they didn't get to warm up as much as they might normally to start a game. They've been typically, coming in the second inning or the third inning, they haven't had their 60 pitches warm up. So I think that may have been some of the issues early on in the game because both managers went with starters for their first several pitches.
Ehrenberg disposing of Raul Gonzalez. And the bullpen remains active. Ehrenberg discovered by accident by the Marlins. He was at Lewis and Clark College in Oregon. Marlins scouting a teammate. And that player said to the scout, "You ought to look at my friend. He throws 90. So the scout looked at Ehrenberg, indeed throw 90, 92, and all of a sudden he went from a complete non-entity, a no name, to a prospect. And 6 years later was up with the Marlins.
That's good scouting. You know how many times kids say, "Hey, you got to see my friend who throws 90," and you look at him and get the gun. And the guy's throwing 78 miles per hour, and
kilometers.
You wasted my time, right? But that's good scouting to hang in there, take a look at the guy. The reality is, if you're left-handed, you have a pulse. You have a chance of getting back to the major leagues, and that's what Vic Ehrenberg. With the numbers he's putting up this year, he will be pitching in the major leagues before this season's over. Left-handed with a breaking ball. He's going to get there.
And what they have to do, these left-handers like Ehrenberg, they have to get left-handed hitters out. And the way to do that is command the down and away strike to left-handed hitters.
Runner going as it is popped up to second baseman Gautreau. And more impressive relief work turned in by the veteran 34-year-old Vic Ehrenberg. Still 7-2.
It's here. It's hot. It's a revolution in activewear. It's the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. The powerful look in pain relief that everyone's wearing. To get sore muscles moving and relieve achy joints so they stay active longer. Ready to wear wherever you hurt. It delivers deep Bengay heat and lasts up to 8 hours. So put on lasting relief designed by the best. Try the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cindy.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Jan. I'm Marsha. I'm Rachel. Hi, I'm Monica. I'm Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm Carrie. I'm Charlotte. Miranda. I'm Samantha. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zena.
Zena?
Yes, Zena. I'm Lucy. This is my friend Ethel. Hi, my name's Louise. Call me Weezy. Hi, I'm Ginger.
Ginger. I'm Cliff, and this is my buddy Norm.
Hey.
Classic day planner, satellite feed, digital camera, zips up, so it's good to go. Classic watch, plays MP3s, checks email, it's good to go.
How about that?
That's my lunch. Crunchwrap Supreme, classic Taco Bell taste, grilled, so it's good to go.
Genius.
I know.
The new Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. Beefy, melty, crunchy, cool, classic Taco Bell taste loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
I'm an American West mortgage specialist. Whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. Good. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream.
Lit up just for tonight's AAA All-Star game. The California State Building out beyond center field here in West Sacramento. Rocky star Todd Helton appeared in the AAA All-Star game with the Colorado Springs Sky Sox 1997. Juan Gonzalez drilled this home run in 1990 in Las Vegas as a member of the Oklahoma City 89ers. Later that year to become a Texas Ranger and soon thereafter to lead the American League in home runs a couple of times with the Rangers. New pitcher, Sacramento River Cat, Victor Moreno, here in the 6th inning. Victor, 29 outings, a couple of saves, 1-1 with Sacramento so far. And he works at the top of the order, B.J. Upton, who has grounded out twice.
The thing that jumps out at you, Moreno, is the number of walks. 38 walks so far this year at 43 innings. Now, he's got 42 strikeouts, but he's putting a lot of men on base with those base on balls. He has good stuff. He's got to find the strikes no more. Nothing drives a manager grayer. Nothing makes him grayer than a reliever coming in, not throwing strikes.
Just give yourself a chance to get it out. And there's no defense for that base on balls. And you're right, Steve. That's the biggest complaint a manager has. They throw it over. Hitting's hard. I think pitchers in general give hitters way too much credit.
1-2 pitch. Also low, 2-2 to Upton. We've got a number of defensive changes. In fact, there are more new faces out there for the PCL than remaining starters in the game. The 2-2. Pretty deep, down the line and right, over for a look. And in the corner is Matt Watson. Watson, one of the few remaining starters, hauls that one in, and B.J. Upton now 0 for 3. Corey Hart is the new left fielder. Adrian Brown is in center field. Ryan Shealy has replaced Connor Jackson at first. Second base, Ian Kinsler. Andy Green takes the rest of the night off, and Mike Cervenak is at third. And a broken bat shot up the middle for Maniac. Handles it. The shortstop ranging behind second. And Jake Gautreau is robbed for out number 2.
Wow, what a play. Great range. He was on the first base side of the bag, and he was able to glove the ball, maintain his balance, and then show a strong arm. Watch the range of Maniac. On the first base side of the bag, quickly pops to his feet and runs down the base runner. Very good play as he gets Gautreau. A very nice play.
I think maybe in a 7-2 game that there's been that much outstanding defense, but there really has. You know, I got 4 plays marked by Stars tonight. Mitch Jones singled in the first, struck out in the third. Jones with 20 home runs, 57 runs batted in, and 306 at Columbus, New York Yankees AAA. Ian Kinsler, as we said, just in the game at second. They were the 2 finalists Monday night in the home run derby here, and Mitch Jones came away the winner. And among the prizes Mitch Jones gets is a trip to Hawaii, but they only give him $250. He's going to spend that before he gets out of the airport in Honolulu.
You live in AAA cities, you know how to manage your money very effectively.
That's right. And speaking of Kinsler, he gobbles up the ground ball, and Moreno turns in a 1-2-3 6th inning. The pitching remains superb ever since the first 2 innings. Speaking of the long ball in Sacktown we saw Monday night, we'll take a look at the home run derby when we return.
Outdoor games presented by Dodge continue tomorrow with ATVs, speed climbing, and large agility dogs. 9 Eastern tomorrow on ESPN.
Check out the new hit movies you can order on demand. And look what you can order right now. Get ready for the year's most hilarious romantic comedy. That's where I come in. Order Hitch, starring Will Smith, on demand. Be cool.
Be cool.
I am cool. Order the hit comedy Be Cool and do it the coolest way possible with On Demand.
Have a nice day.
Choose from hundreds of movies with On Demand on Cox Digital Cable.
Here you go, ladies. One chicken smokehouse pizza just like we recommended. It's loaded with our new all-white meat char-grilled chicken and tasty smokehouse ingredients.
It looks delicious.
Plus, we added extra cheese. We can do that. Tell her why, Matt. We're the owners.
Oh.
Matt and Marcus, we need a mop-up in the game room. Now.
That's a different Matt and Marcus.
Round Table's new chicken smokehouse is loaded with char-grilled white meat chicken and more. Try one today, only at Round Table.
Back in Sacramento, 7-2 PCL. Monday, home run derby with 14,000 plus packing Raley Field, and the Columbus Clippers slugger Mitch Jones was the star. Some titanic blasts delighting the crowd. He held on to beat Ian Kinsler in the final round 11-10 to claim the victory and all that went with it.
He airmailed the clubhouse, deep drive. He got a silver bat, got a trip to Hawaii, $250, and it looked as though it was going to be a tough night for the home run hitters on Monday night. The ball wasn't carrying until Mitch Jones stepped in, and they reversed the entire evening. Jason Carniff. New pitcher, new hitter, J.J. Fermaniak, who just turned into a tremendous play at shortstop. And from the Toledo Mud Hens, we look at the numbers and 40 outings for Jason Carniff. Another closer with 13 saves and a very good ERA. Command guy, doesn't walk too many, just 11 walks in 40 innings. The vast majority of pitchers for both teams are closers. What do you make of that? Well, I think it's just the fact that some of the other starters went to the Futures games. Some of these guys in the minor leagues are, you know, you think about putting the team together. They're having the best years statistically, so you want to reward them for their efforts. I think some of the other things that happened was some of the starters they had earmarked to make this game and had actually made the team got called up to the major leagues. And, you know, a lot of times starters go up and they go to the bullpen or they go in the rotation. J.J. Fermaniak with a leadoff base hit to left. And among the changes in the sixth inning, Nate McLouth is the new left fielder replacing John Griffin. Jeff Leefer at first. Mitch Jones takes the rest of the night off. And Bernie Castro for Jake Gautreaux at second. Left side of the infield, still B.J. Upton, shortstop, Edwin Encarnacion at third. Andy Green has given way to Ian Kinsler. And a line drive on the first pitch he sees to right field. Fermaniak taking third. And Carniff roughed up a little bit here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Jam-packed Raley Field, Sacramento, California, the AAA All-Star Game. 14,000 plus on hand. Dave Barnett, Steve Phillips, and Buck Martinez. All the runs scored in the first two innings. Gerald Laird, the PCL catcher from Oklahoma, the big blow, a grand slam in the first. 5 in that inning, 2 more in the bottom of the second for the PCL. Single runs in the first 2 for the International League, and that's been it. 3.5 consecutive scoreless innings turned in as all of a sudden pitching has taken hold. Here's Ryan Shealy from Colorado Springs. His first at bat, having replaced Connor Jackson at first base. Well, this guy put on a show in batting practice today. He just launched some balls out of here. Big, strong, powerful swing. Texas League Player of the Year last year, 29 home runs, 99 runs batted in, 64 extra base hits, all at AA Tulsa. Colorado's Organizational Player of the Year. And with Kinsler going from first, Upton from the hole, his second error of the night. He's made one when he couldn't get it out of his glove cleanly, and his second on the high throw with Fermaniak and Kinsler both moving up.
Permaniak moving home, and it is 8-2. B.J. Upton, 30 errors at the All-Star break, 2 more tonight.
Now, you can see the strength of his arm, but he airmails the first baseman, Jeff Leifer, and he doesn't really get himself planted quickly enough. Took a couple of few extra steps. He has to learn how to stop much quicker than that, plant and fire. He certainly has the arm strength to make that. But we have seen the inexperience, Steve, and I think that's the big thing about him. He's going to learn how to slow things down.
You look at B.J. Upton, you look at the tools, the arm strength. When scouts grade it, he's got a 7 or an 8 arm. He's got great arm strength, and he's got good hands. He had great range, got to the ball. But those are tools. The skill is being able to put it all together to make the play, and that's what he's trying to figure out. He's taking the tools to get them to become skills.
Mike Cervenak flying out to Ambrose in center field, and the sac fly scoring Ian Kinsler. Shealy given a single and the error on the throw by Upton, which allowed him to move up to second, and Kinsler to third. Cervenak with the sacrifice fly, second run of the inning, 9-2 lead now for the PCL.
Cervenak right there getting the RBI on the sacrifice fly, and 68 RBIs on the season for him so far this year. He knows how to hit in those kinds of situations.
Cervenak from the University of Michigan, 3-time All-Big Ten. Here is Matt Watson, Sacramento River Cat, who walked and scored in the first, sac fly in the second, struck out in the fourth. Watson so far all the way in right field for the PCL. And we mentioned Nicole, 8 months pregnant, trooper that she is. She was out in all the heat yesterday in the pregame activities and capturing all the action video-wise tonight. A deep drive way out to left field. That one on top of the clubhouse.
Easy, Nicole, easy.
A 4-run six for the PCL, and it is 11-2. Nicole can't wait to show Matt this one.
Oh, what a good swing. That pitch is on the outside part of the plate. He goes with it, much to the joy of his wife, Nicole, who's capturing all the moments in this All-Star game.
That footage might be a little bouncy, I think.
8 months pregnant, expecting their second child, and what a nice moment for Matt Watson and his wife, Nicole.
Yamid Ha now batting for Gerald Laird, and he lines it to left, and McLeod is there for out number 2.
You know, we talk about minor league players and the families and their wives and what they go through to support their husbands. And, you know, ball players aren't the best guys to be around when they go 0 for 4 and they strike out a couple of times. And so many guys are boosted up and supported by their wives and their families at home. And ultimately, it's a big part of why they're able to deal with the failures of the game is because of the support that they get. And you read a lot of stories about players that bounce around the minor leagues. They're living in houses, sleeping on air mattresses, no furniture. And you know what? Their wives are always there to try to support them through their careers. And a lot of great stories like that, a lot of great families in back of these ball players.
Hometown favorite here, Joe Thurston. Product of Sacramento City College, native of Fairfield, California, with the Las Vegas AAA franchise of the Dodger system. And Nicole is going to be tied up, I think, for the rest of the night, letting everybody know what just happened.
Somebody just told her she's on TV.
Yeah. Joe Thurston has had some time with the Dodgers. 2003.
Now, Steve, you make a great point about the families. You know, the ball players get called up. They got to leave immediately. They leave the families back to pack up the apartments, pay the bills, close down everything, and then I'll see you next week when you get finished with everything.
No, we're saying families. You know what? The wives are out there saying, you know what? It's not families. It's us doing it because they do. I mean, it happens all the time. It's the ball players getting the bags. Actually, somebody packs the bags for the ball players. They get on a plane. Somebody carries their bag from the plane to the ballpark for them. And in the meantime, the wives are packing everything up, doing the laundry, closing down the apartments, changing the address, and having to play catch-up later. Very thankless job a lot of times.
They really have a full-time job, don't they? The sinking line drive, and Ambrose with the sliding catch out in center field to rob Joe Thurston. A huge inning for the Watson family. Met with a towering two-run home run, captured frame for frame by Nicole. It's 11-2.
Absolutely. We have free checking with direct deposit, so you can pay your bills and get your money however you want, without paying us.
Even if I get cash from a Bank of America ATM 100 times a month?
That would be free.
Even when I pay my bills online?
It's free. You can pay almost any bill.
So if I had 65 bills...
As many as you want.
Oh, and if somebody uses my debit card, if it gets stolen or something?
You're covered.
Free checking plus.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
From Bank of America. Higher standards.
Well, it wasn't until Hurricane Charlie was over the real danger began.
I'm State Farm Agent Dan Mann, and this is a true story.
I'm a diabetic, and so when the power goes out, that's real bad.
His insulin had to stay cold.
He brought me ice.
Plus a check for emergency living expenses.
Before my neighbor even heard from his insurance company. And with all the thousands of people that needed help down here, I felt like there only one.
When you need someone most, nobody takes care of you like State Farm.
We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's really important what we're doing for the kids.
I got enthusiasm flying out my... Hey, Lupus, don't lean against that door.
Bad News Bears, rated PG-13. Starts July 22nd.
There are no gas grills at the Great Lenexa Barbecue Battle.
No gas.
Why not?
You don't get the flavor with gas. Charcoal is the thing.
Any particular charcoal?
It's Kingsford.
Yeah?
Kingsford.
For the taste.
Yeah. You get a better flavor out of your meat.
Kingsford, because taste is everything.
Matt Watson remains out in right field, having given Nicole her hands full the rest of the game, letting everybody know, in case they didn't see it, what Matt just did with a two-run home run, making it 11-2. We move to the seventh inning, and Dusty Bergman, Angels prospect with the Salt Lake Stingers.
And again, you can see this guy has worked majority of his season out of the bullpen, made 28 appearances so far. He's picked up 4 saves in those 28 appearances, has given up 52 hits in 48 innings of work, and struck out 39 hitters.
New batter, Yamad Had, who hit for Gerald Laird last half inning. And Nate McLouth, first pitch he sees, he sprays a base hit to left. And let's check in with Gary Miller.
Gerald Laird, you get out of the game now, but you changed this game. It's 11-2 now, but without the granny. Tell us about that at bat, which really opened this thing wide open. It's hard to get good at bats against a different pitcher every inning.
Oh, definitely. It feels like you're back in spring training, facing a new arm every inning. But it's one of those things where the stage was set up, and I just went in, and I was thinking through my mind, just get a good pitch to hit, and try to hit something in the gap or something, get some RBI, just have a good day. And you know what? I hit a ball well. It stayed up, and ended up being a grand slam. It was a great feeling when I was running around the bases, and it was just one of those things. I'm gonna save the moment.
How different is this? I know this is like Grand Slam month for you, right? You hit one in a regular season game too.
Yeah, that's funny. I've never hit one in my life, and I hit one like a week ago in Albuquerque, and came up again. Like, God, 2 in 8 days would be nice. And it happened, and I'm happy. It was unbelievable feeling, and it's just one of those things where I got hot at the right time.
I'm gonna put a little bigger smile on your face. this is the first one ever in a AAA All-Star game, first Grand Slam, Gerald Laird.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a memory I'm going to carry for a long time. It's awesome. I mean, for all the good players that's played in this game and only have one in here, I mean, it's pretty cool feeling. Yeah, well, it was a great start to 2004 for you, Gerald. I know this is a big sign for 2005. Hope you're back up in Texas soon. Thank you very much. Hope to be. Guys, back to you.
Gerald Laird making AAA All-Star history tonight. A wild pitch uncorked by Bergman, sending McLeod down to second base. This is Pete LaForest. Pinch hitting at the DH spot. Ernie Young gives way to the Durham Bull with 19 home runs already this year.
Pete LaForest, pretty interesting story. He's a catcher. He comes out of Hull, Quebec, outside of Ottawa, and he's got a lot of power. It's interesting, last year he had what he thought was a full groin muscle, and it kept lingering and lingering, never got any better, and he finally had it checked out. He found out he had a double hernia, had sports hernias, had them repaired, and said it was very difficult to hit last year with that poor foundation underneath it, and this year it's been a totally different story for him.
Pierre-Luc LaForest works a walk. Native of Ottawa, the only Canadian catcher in the big leagues. September 2003. And 2 on here. Nobody out in the 7th inning. Sunday night, rivalry week. And Thursday night, it actually kicks off the Yankees and Red Sox rivalry week presented by Bank of America. That's at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Sox with a 2-game lead in the American League East over the Orioles. Yankees 2.5 back. And the scheduled starters, Mike Mussina, Bronson Arroyo, ESPN, Thursday Night Baseball, Yankees Red Sox. Here's Brian Pena, the Atlanta Braves Richmond AAA franchise. 0-1 pitch driven to deep right field, and Watson is back on the track to haul this one in. McLeod easily taking third on the first out of the 7th inning.
We talk about Thursday Night Baseball, Red Sox and Yankees. Well, the Red Sox made a trade today. They traded Jay Payton to the Oakland Athletics. Chad Bradford, kind of the sidearm submarine right-handed reliever, and trying to help their bullpen there. But interesting as to what Oakland's going to do with Payton. A lot of talk that maybe they're going to turn him around in some other deal. And it would be very interesting if he ended up in a Yankee uniform. The problems the Yankees have had in center field, and Jay Payton gets turned back around. I'm not sure Theo Epstein, Buck's going to be real happy if, in fact, the guy he moves ends up going to his closest competitor.
There's not much you can do about that, but that was probably the worst kept secret in baseball the last 10 days, wasn't it?
We all kind of were like, when's this going to happen?
Bradford's been hurt most of the year. He's finally healthy again. Certainly a legitimate closer or setup guy that can pitch very effectively.
There's Chris Coast from Fargo, North Dakota. Roger Maris, also a product of Fargo. Undrafted, despite being a Division III All-America 3 times at Concordia College. So he went the independent league route at Brandon, Manitoba in the Prairie League, and then the Northern League at Fargo Moorhead. And he did everything. He was at the stadium all winter. He worked in merchandising. He had a radio sports talk show, Tough Guy Radio. It made about $12 a day, but it was a lot of fun. He married his wife, Marcia, in a tuxedo on the third baseline at the Fargo ballpark. And an author who has written a book called Hey, I'm Just a Catcher, back in 1998. And another high drive to right field for Watson. Not quite as deep as the last one, but McLeod will trot home on the sacrifice fly by Coast. First run since the 2nd inning for the International League, and it's 11-3.
Pretty interesting story about Chris Coast, who just loved to play baseball. After college, he didn't get drafted. He was disappointed. He made a commitment to play in the independent league, as Dave mentioned. And then when the Indians finally called to offer him a contract in organized baseball, he was reluctant to sign because he had everything going in his hometown. But he eventually signed and got into pro ball with the Indians.
Well, Bergman will give way to more relief action here in the 7th inning with an 11-3 PCL lead.
Coach says, why pay more to stay somewhere else? Just slide into Motel 6. It's clean, comfortable, and always a steal. Good one, Coach.
We'll leave the light on for you. And a Accor Hotel.
It's time lenders treated people with respect. That's why eLoan offers home equity loans with faster responses and rates as low as 5.49%. Those are some of the revolutionary ways we're changing the lending industry. eLoan. Radically simple.
Since 1978, the Hawaii Ironman's 140-mile human blast furnace has scorched the circuitry of the world's fittest athletes, like pro triathlete Chris Lee, who in '97 would bow to the unforgiving terrain of Kona.
I was so dehydrated, my body just shut down with 50 meters left.
It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It was hard to watch, let alone film.
At that point, the race meant nothing.
6 years of setbacks landed Chris at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute.
Well, like most athletes, Chris had no idea how much sweat he was losing.
With the new hydration strategy in hand, Chris snapped the tape at the 2004 Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
I guess your stuff works.
And Gatorade continues to fuel athletes everywhere, from the hardwood to the gridiron to the lava fields of Hawaii. The games never end, and the legend continues.
Race-inspired handling, responsive acceleration, and a four-wheel independent suspension are all things you expect from Honda. What you don't expect is all that in a truck. A four-door truck with a 255 horsepower engine and the highest government crash test rating possible. The new Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
Old Town, part of downtown Sacramento. We're just west of downtown, Raley Field. And in the 7th inning, Masao Kita, 36-year-old right-hander from Tokyo with the Tacoma Seattle AAA team. 13 saves, tied for second in the PCL. Michael Vento all the way in right field for the International League. Grounded out twice to short and back to the mound. Bergman allowed a run on a single, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. 12 years in Japan with the Yomiuri Giants and Oryx Blue Wave for Kita. Major League action with Detroit, the Dodgers, and Seattle.
He was an interesting sign by the Tigers. He signed back in '99, came over and pitched for Detroit. Made 49 appearances for the Tigers in '99. And then came back up for a couple of games in 2000 after spending time in Toledo. Then went back to Japan in 2000 for 2 years. He was hurt in 2002. And then came back over to play with the Dodgers in Las Vegas and the big leagues in 2003 and 2004.
He brought 3 books with him from Japan, one authored by Tom Seaver, one by Nolan Ryan, and one by Sparky Anderson.
A little bit of baseball knowledge there.
They're pretty good guys.
Now, he admired the way Seaver pitched. Of course, who wouldn't admire the way Nolan Ryan pitched?
Just missing on the 3-2 breaking ball to Vento. Second walk of the inning. LaForce moves up to second base. And Chip Ambrose, who has played all the way in center field for the International League, will step in. He's 0-2 with a line drive to right to strikeout.
So we talked a little bit about the AAA level and the different emotions that players are going through. You've got the young guys that are excited, hoping to get to the big leagues. You've got a guy like Mike Vento who's been scrapping and clawing every year, having to prove that he can do it, hoping to get an opportunity, and he sees a Melky Cabrera go from AA to the major leagues. And a lot of those guys start to get some feelings inside that, you know, hey, this just isn't fair. I'm not getting my opportunity. AAA is a very interesting place, and it takes the right kind of manager to handle all of the different emotions and people and personalities there. because you've got some guys who have some chips on their shoulder, a little bit bitter and frustrated. You've got some young guys who are eager and anxious to become major leaguers and start their careers. It's really a challenge for managers to balance guys moving in different directions. You've got players you have to repair when their egos are hurt and their confidence is lost coming down to AAA. You've got other guys who are kind of cocky and arrogant that you have to kind of monitor all of the emotions and personalities.
A line drive down the line deep in left field and hooking foul. 1-2 to Ambrose. Tony DeFrancesco from here in Sacramento, manager of the River Cats, managing the PCL.
And he's talking with Mike Parrott, pitching coach, who is with Arizona, and Tony DeFrancesco has been the manager of the year in this league. He's won 2 PCL championships. And Steve, you make a great point about all of the egos you have to deal with, plus the agenda that's sent down from Oakland. We want this guy to play, we want that guy to play, and you have to follow those rules. And, you know, you're always at the whim of the GM in the big leagues and the manager in the big leagues, and nobody knows that better than Pat Kelly, who's coaching first base for the Richmond Braves. He's the manager at Richmond, and this year he's seen his entire team called up to the big leagues, and now those rookies in Atlanta are making a run in another National League East Division championship.
The reason they're making the run is because guys like Pat Kelly in the minor leagues are getting the job done.
Ambrose strikes out, but the International League with a run in the 7th inning. It has been a big night for Matt Watson. We will hear from him next.
Tuesday night is poker night on ESPN. Now appearing live and in person, Kid Poker, Lady Luck, Phenom, and the Brat. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, part of Poker Night on ESPN, premieres Tuesday at 8.
The stadium's rocking. That thing is coming in second. It's like the World Series. Unbelievable!
Anything can happen.
Yes, he's done it! The final seconds of this one are ticking down.
Let the games begin.
Now they rise to their feet.
Brought to you locally by Steelhead Brewing Company in the University Center across from UCI in Irvine.
Here's a tip from HGTV's Sensible Chic. Your bedroom can look like a designer's masterpiece. Make your own headboard for a beautiful look at a fraction of the price. It's all in the fabric and the pieces used to accent the look. Like these elegant pillows. Sensible design ideas really bring a room together. For more information, visit hgtv.com.
Brought to you locally by The Window Factory on the corner of Dyer and Main in Santa Ana.
Raley Field, Sacramento, California. Gerald Laird with an early thrill of first-inning grand slam, which put the Pacific Coast League on top 5-1. And then Matt Watson with 8-month pregnant wife Nicole leading the cheers with a 2-run home run later on. And Matt is with Gary Miller.
Dave, Matt, you won't have seen this. The national audience is seeing it, but your wife Natalie was taping that whole thing. You must have known that ahead of time and say, I'll give you something to shoot.
No, she's probably going to go home and yell at me now for not doing that in the home run derby a couple nights ago. Trip for 2 to Hawaii sounds a little better, but I'm sure she's excited. It's a great time. My mother's been out here. She actually pushed a flight back a couple weeks and stayed out here another 11 days just to be able to see it. So it's pretty nice.
How much does this mean to you? I mean, this has been a big time for you. Landon's, about a year and a half old now, and you got another baby coming, and you don't really want to reveal when it's coming because you'd like to be up at Oakland and not have any distractions.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. Sacramento's treated me great, and just be able to come out. And, thanks for Tony for putting me in here. I think only one guy could get to play all 9, and, he let me out here in front of the hometown crowd. So, appreciation to him and all the fans here. It's been tremendous.
You hit 19 of them here last year. You got 10 already this season. How different was the one in the AAA All-Star game?
Really special. It has to be one of the most memorable I've hit. I was just trying to make solid contact after the strikeout the at-bat before. I'm sure my dad's back in Pennsylvania watching. He's going to yell at me for swinging the changeups in the dirt, but it definitely ranks up there with one of the most memorable ones I've ever hit.
Matt, the A's made a trade for Jay Payton today. Obviously, you guys in AAA watched that and see, well, here you do. Am I losing an opportunity to go up there? How many mixed feelings do you have when things go above at a position that you're at and personnel moves are made?
Well, you can't. I learned early in the game you can only control what you can control, and that's why you go out and play every day. And you know, good for them. They're playing great ball up there. I wish them the best of luck. You know, I'm not one of those guys that roots against them up there. They're playing tremendous baseball the second half of the first half here, and just to get back over 500, and you go out there and just control what you can control, and hopefully somebody takes notice. And yeah, I firmly believe if you put up the numbers every year, you get a chance somewhere.
I think they noticed what you did tonight.
Oh, I hope they did. So thanks,
guys.
Yeah, it was hard to miss tonight what Matt Watson did. Corey Hart popped to second. This is Adrian Brown, who has replaced Tyrell Godwin. Omaha Royals center fielder hitting .280 with 5 home runs. And Juan Padilla from the Mets Norfolk franchise on the mound to deep center field. Ambrose times it well, arrives right in the middle of the track to retire Brown for out number 2. I think Steve Phillips should tell us about Juan Padilla.
No, listen, Juan Padilla's kind of bounced around a little bit. Twins, the Yankees organization, Mets pick him up, and controlled type pitcher. They'd say he's one of the best at throwing strikes in the organization. Look at the numbers: 59 strikeouts in 62 innings, 9 walks. He throws, works ahead of the count, good changeup.
A line drive base hit. J.J. from Maniac. He replaced Esteban Herman at shortstop. 2-out single here in the bottom of the 7th.
You know, one of the things that Matt Watson was talking about in the interview with Gary was only worrying about those things that you can control. Don't worry about the things that are out of your control, and you hear that a lot from players at the AAA level. They have to keep telling themselves that when they see a guy, the Oakland A's trade for Jay Payton. If you're an outfielder, you say, well, what about me? I'm having a pretty good year. If you get caught up in chasing that or trying to figure out what everybody's thinking about you and everything else, it ends up impacting your performance. You start trying too hard. You think you have to get a home run every at bat. You think you have to go 3 for 4 every game. And in doing that, you try harder. And when you try harder in baseball, you perform less. And I think that every one of these guys tells themselves, I can't worry about anything except what I can do today.
Ian Kinsler, his first at bat. That one bounces, and Pena can't recover it before Maniac moves up to second base.
Well, Steve, you make a great point, and I think it's only when you have a few seasons under your belt that you think that way, because early on you think there's only one organization that you can play in the big leagues with. And you don't understand that there are 29 other teams out there that you're playing for every single night. And there are scouts at every ballpark watching what you do, and they have needs. And when they go around, they say, you know what, Matt Watson's swinging the bat pretty good, and they got Payton now. Maybe they got a surplus of outfielders. That's a guy that can help us in the second half of the season. Those are the kinds of breaks that turn careers around.
Well, see, the other thing in baseball is that players are not very good evaluators of themselves. Everyone thinks that they're better than they really are. It's the nature of what allows them mentally to handle this game of failure. I mean, I remember when I got done playing, I went into the front office with the Mets. The first thing I did, I found the file with all the old reports. I wanted to know why I didn't get moved up, and I read the reports, and I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? They're right. I couldn't do this. I could do that, but I couldn't do that. And it made some sense, but players don't think that way.
Ian Kinsler bounces out to Castro at second base. And coming up, a look at the men who have made the jump from California's capital city to Major League success, the Sons of Sacramento, when we come back.
The WNBA now playing on ESPN and ESPN2.
Hi, I'm Kurt Schilling.
I'm Shonda Schilling for the ALS Association.
ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, is a devastating illness that robs patients of the simple joy of playing with their kids. It destroys their ability to speak, walk, and breathe.
But there is hope. The ALS Association offers the most comprehensive patient services and leads the field in research. Please join us in lighting the way for a treatment and a cure.
Here's how you can get more information about ALS and the ALS Association.
It's all about before and after.
Block by block,
one neighborhood at a time.
Here's before.
Here's the after. Before and after. I'm Jim Grawley.
I'm Phyllis Caldwell.
I'm Alex Viorst. We're bankers, and we're proud to be part of Bank of America.
We take a very direct role in community development in a way that no other bank does.
We built that apartment house.
We built that school.
People who couldn't afford to own a home now can. People who couldn't afford to live in a certain community can move back.
These were vacant lots, boarded up houses. Our work is about rebuilding neighborhoods.
It's all the result of one company.
A decade ago, we set a goal for community development banking, and it was bigger than any bank had ever set.
Now that we've expanded into the Northeast, we've doubled that 10-year commitment.
To $750 billion.
We see it as an opportunity to rebuild the fabric of a neighborhood.
You know how we know success? When we see the flower boxes come back to the neighborhood.
Bank of America. Higher standards.
Never even touched me. Maybe a little bit.
Eighth inning now in the AAA All-Star game here in Sacramento. 11-3 for the home Pacific Coast League. And B.J. Upton, who's gone all the way at shortstop for the International League. He's 0 for 3 with 2 errors in the field. Masao Kita, who finished off the 7th inning, remains to start the 8th. Kita, who walked Michael Vento and struck out Chip Embrus. A ball and a strike to Upton. Your National League runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 7th. Darrell Laird's first inning grand slam, still the difference. 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 6th for the Pacific Coast League. In this 18th AAA All-Star game. First 17 have produced a total of 57 future Major League All-Stars. So that's been kind of the fun tonight, is to look and try and forecast, project who might be at that level 2 years, 5 years, some of them 7, 8 years. Who knows?
Well, I think tonight we've seen some potential relievers in the big leagues that have come in and thrown very well. And Jeff Bajanero from the White Sox really had an impressive outing, as did Clay Hensley.
Sure did.
Hensley from the Padres pitching at Portland this year. And he slowed things down dramatically when he came on in the 3rd inning. Had a 1-2-3 3rd inning with 2 strikeouts.
Back to the Pacific Coast League, Clay Hensley, Kevin Jarvis, Jason Bulger, Victor Moreno, all scoreless innings in relief of the starter Chris Gissell. 3-2 pitch is high, and B.J. Upton works a leadoff walk. Speaking of Sacramento products, Larry Boa, 16 years, a 5-time All-Star, 2 Gold Gloves with the Phillies. Remember their 1980 World Series champion team. At Dusty Baker, 19 years, a 2-time All-Star, a .278 career hitter. Great years spent with National League champion L.A. Dodger clubs, and has done a little managing since then. Bernie Castro, Ian Kinsler flashes little leather out at second base. The Rangers minor league player of the year last year. As Upton advances to second base. Derek Lee, a contender perhaps this year for the National League Triple Crown. .378 average leads the majors. 27 home runs, tied for the Major League lead with the Chicago Cubs, also a product of Sacramento.
And of course, Derek Lee's father, Leon, and his uncle, Leron, both coming out of Sacramento High School. So there's a rich tradition of big leaguers here in this area.
Kita giving away to Jim Kroll, pitching change here in Sacramento on the 8th.
One of the cool things about the ESPY Awards is that you get to see athletes in sort of a different arena than you're normally used to seeing them. I saw Manny Ramirez one time at the mall. I didn't want to bother him, so I just was like, Manny! He gave me the chin. He was like, and then I gave him the chin back. I was like, and we really connected. It was just like, you're all right, dude. Yeah.
Red Sox Yankees at 6, followed by the ESPY Awards, presented by GMC and Under Armour at 9 Sunday night.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
Every day it's a battle between you and your feet. Now they're itching for a fight. Fight back with Gold Bond. Maximum strength medicine, foot powder, or cooling spray for maximum relief. For victory over wet, itchy feet. Gold Bond Foot Care. Victory over defeat.
Here you go, ladies. One chicken smokehouse pizza just like we recommended. It's loaded with our new all-white meat char-grilled chicken and tasty smokehouse ingredients.
It looks delicious.
Plus, we added extra cheese. We can do that. Tell her why, Matt. We're the owners.
Oh.
Matt and Marcus, we need a mop-up in the game room. Now.
That's a different Matt and Marcus.
Round Table's new chicken smokehouse is loaded with char-grilled white meat chicken and more. Try one today, only at Round Table.
ESPN2's AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by AXA Financial, one of the premier financial services organizations in the United States and a worldwide leader in financial protection and wealth management.
The Delta Queen sailing the Sacramento River. In the 8th inning, 11-3 for the PCL. And the newest pitcher is left-hander Jim Kroll from the best-named minor league team there is, the Albuquerque Isotopes. 134 earned run average in his 30 appearances in the Florida organization. And Jeff Leifer replaced Mitch Jones at first base. 316 average, 17 home runs for the Buffalo Bisons. Native of Fontana, California. Long Beach State record holder. Home runs, runs batted in, hits, and doubles.
He's a AAA player that's always shown a lot of power in the AAA. With the White Sox in 2001, he connected for 18 home runs and very limited at-bats. Back at his at-bats that year, he had 254 bats for the White Sox and hit 18 long balls.
You know why the Isotopes are the name for Albuquerque, don't you? They've been the Dukes forever. And they allowed the fans to vote, and the Simpsons had just had an episode. And the Springfield minor league team on the Simpsons was the Isotopes. And that stuck in people's minds, and that was the winning entry. Here's a deep drive, left center field, and way back and gone. Jeff Leifer with a 2-run home run here in the 8th inning. And the International League crawling back. It's 11-5.
Well, we mentioned the power of Jeff Leifer, a long-time White Sox minor leaguer, played a couple of years up with there and then got over to the Expos, takes this pitch away. And this is the attraction that Jeff Weaver has always had, his ability to knock the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, my over-under for home runs tonight was 6, and we're creeping pretty close to that now. They were absolutely flying out in batting practice. Wind blowing out 100 degrees, superheated air. It was a show.
It's a big ballpark. It's a real big ballpark, and it's 380 to the gaps in left center and right center, and 408 to straightaway center. I think it's a legit ballpark.
Oh, it is, and I think that it's very expansive from gap to gap out there because the way they've laid out the fences. A lot of holes.
Nate McLouth looks at strike 3. More Sacramento products. Bob Force, 16 Major League seasons, 168 career wins, and his brother Ken also pitched 16 years, mostly with the Astros, 114 wins, and a memorable night, a no-hitter thrown in the Astrodome.
Now, both brothers threw a no-hitter, and certainly a rich part of this Sacramento tradition. They both went to Sacramento City College, and Bob Force pitched with the Cardinals. Ken Force pitched with Houston the majority of his career. Now he's in the front office with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Ball 1 to Pete LaForest. He replaced Ernie Young at DH. 2 runs in, 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th inning. 11-5 Pacific Coast League. in the AAA All-Star game. We will get to the most prominent Major League product of Sacramento, the pride of Elk Grove High School here.
You're talking about Scott Boras?
No, you're far too modest, sir.
I didn't want to mention Scott Boras too soon, sitting next to Steve Phillips in his general manager role, but Scott Boras came out of Elk Grove High School too, and certainly the most prominent of baseball agents.
That explains it. You came from there too. That explains a lot to me.
Rolled 2-2 pitches, popped up back and foul.
You know, I talked to Pete LaForest before batting practice today about the World Baseball Classic. He's from Canada. Asked him about his desires to participate in that coming next March and represent Canada, and he said, I'd like to, but he said, I may be fighting to make a team, and I don't know if it's going to help me if I leave and go away to participate in that for a couple of weeks and not be able to perform in front of the Tampa Bay front office. I want to make the Devil Rays. So he said, I might be in a tough position where I want to represent my country, but I might have tried to make a team.
Ryan Shealy unassisted at first to retire LaForce. 2 runs on the homer by Leifer in the 8th. Watson, who has a 2-run home run tonight, racing in. Nicole watches the PCL leading 11-5.
AXA Financial Protection, what does it mean?
AXA, they help my father with his investments.
AXA, they helped my grandparents when they retired, so I can visit their beach house. AXA, they're protecting our family with life insurance.
It's what we do at AXA, and we like to call it financial protection. AXA, be life confident.
Well, it wasn't until Hurricane Charlie was over that the real danger began.
I'm State Farm Agent Dan Mann, and this is a true story.
I'm a diabetic, and so when the power goes out, that's real bad.
His insulin had to stay cold.
He brought me ice.
Plus a check for emergency living expenses.
Before my neighbor even heard from his insurance company. And with all the thousands of people that needed help down here, I felt like they're only one.
When you need someone most, nobody takes care of you like State Farm.
We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you hit the road, you expect your car to perform well. But if your engine isn't clean, it may not perform at its best. Shell V-Power Premium Gasoline can help. It actively cleans your engine for better performance. So no matter where you're going, with Shell V-Power, you'll be able to enjoy the performance. Shell V-Power actively cleans for better performance.
The Sprite, it belongs to me.
Come and get it. Your cream style is no match for my lemon lime eagle claw. Blah, blah, blah. Watch the afro. Never mess with a brother Sprite. Show him my motto. All you had to do was say please.
Bottom of the 8th, the Pacific Coast League will hit with an 11-5 lead, and the latest pitcher is Travis Boyer. 20th round pick by the Twins, 1999, native of Lynchburg, Virginia, product of Liberty High School.
Last year in the AAA game, Jesse Crane of the Minnesota Twins pitched, and he is enjoying an outstanding season this year, pitching in Minneapolis for Ron Gardenhire. And this is the same type of pitcher right here, an overpowering reliever. 18 saves on the season with an electric fastball. There you see it. Good finish upstairs.
The Twins organization's done a great job scouting. They just keep coming up with those power arms. They run out to the bullpen and get people out.
When you stockpile arms, you can always acquire position players, and everybody will be knocking on your door because you have quality arms in your system. I don't know how they do it, but year in and year out, they'll come up with a guy you've never heard of before. They'll throw 95, 96, and built like Man Mountain Dean.
Deep drive to right by Ryan Shealy is hauled in by Vento. One gone in the 8th with the happiest baseball wife in Raley Field tonight, Gary Miller.
Yeah, I'm with Nicole Watson, and Nicole, it's been quite a night for you. Now, we showed you videotaping, Matt. How much trepidation did you have before that at bat from what had happened earlier in the game?
At
at least after the first 2 at-bats, I felt really good about what he did because he was very patient. And then the 3rd at-bat, I thought, oh gosh, a strikeout. He's not going to be real happy. And then after that, I mean, I'm just sitting here very relaxed, very proud of what he's done. And my phone went crazy. I'm just still kind of like, oh, I don't know. So.
He called this, I know he's hit 10 home runs already this year. He hit 19 here last year. He called this, though, the most memorable he's hit. You've known him since high school.
Yeah.
Is this as big a moment as you've sat for?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Hands down. I mean, being in the big leagues is something else, and you have a different stress when you're there. But this is a time for these guys to shine and hope that, you know, other teams are recognizing what they're doing as well as, you know, their parent organization. But yeah, by far the best home run in a long time that I've seen. So yeah.
Tell us about what was going through. I know you were videotaping, and I'm sure there's going to be some jumpy video that you were shooting. But what were you thinking when that ball went out?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's going to hit a home run. And that's all I remember. You have to remember, my brain hasn't been real good lately with this pregnancy, so.
Yeah, so we have Landon, who's about 18 months, I think, right?
19 months.
19 months.
Yep.
Now, was there some jumping going on with his brother-to-be?
You know, this one is not quite like him. He seems relaxed. The fireworks last night didn't wake him up. He's been sleeping the whole game, so he's pretty relaxed about it.
Well, we got a pitching change, Nicole. This is what happens in baseball. We'll be back with more with the Watson family from the AAA All-Star Game. We continue here on ESPN2.
This Friday, it's the magical event you've all been waiting for.
It's wedding season. Bingo.
Okay, let's do our pregame.
I might dance with the little flower girl. I might be a charter member of Oprah's book club.
It's all deadly.
Yes.
I'll see you in a little.
Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn.
Grab that net and catch that beautiful butterfly, pal.
In the summer's one indisputable laugh riot, says Rolling Stone. Wedding Crashers.
Play the motorboat?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, please don't take a turn to negative town.
Rated R starts Friday.
Attention everyone. Effective immediately, all customers will receive the Saturn employee discount price. On all new 2005 vehicles, you pay what we pay. Not a cent more.
Dibs!
Dibs! We got dibs on this one.
Dibs over here.
Dibs!
Dibs! I got dibs on this one.
I got dibs!
Yeah, I got dibs. Uh-huh.
Get a new 5-star crash safety rated Saturn View at the employee discount price of $15,076.
I'm here to show you how the new Right Guard Extreme Power Stripe works. Let's say these guys are the Power Stripe.
Red Rover, we call Billy over.
And this guy's Odor. But now it's 25% stronger because we supercharged the Stripe with Dry Tech.
Red Rover, we call T-O-over.
You do not want to be Odor.
We call Javon over. Yo, get more extreme, get Right Guard.
Back at the AAA All-Star Game in Sacramento as Matt Watson comes up to bat after his home run. We continue with his wife, Nicole. And Nicole, what is it like? We know what it's like for Matt. He tries to calm himself down, forget about each at-bat. What's it like for you each at-bat that you go through? And all the time, you've known him a long time.
Yes, well, right now, the heart is racing. I get a little uptight. Well, at least now he has a home run. He's 1 for 2. He has a sac fly and a walk. That's a good night. I'm pretty relaxed right now. He made a nice catch.
I saw Grandma Linda there was a little upset about that one. So that's what life was like with the Watson family, Dave.
Yep, that is one savvy baseball wife. Matt Robb and Michael Vento. We go to the ninth, 11-5.
Never even touched me. Maybe a little bit.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Cindy. Hi. Hi, I'm Jan. I'm Marsha. I'm Rachel. Hi, I'm Monica. I'm Phoebe.
Hi, Phoebe.
I'm Carrie. I'm Charlotte. Miranda. I'm Samantha. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zena.
Zena?
Yes, Zena. I'm Lucy. This is my friend Ethel. My name's Louise. Call me Weezy. Hi, I'm Ginger.
Ginger. I'm Cliff, and this is my buddy Norm. Hey.
Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio.
If there's one thing baseball fans can agree on, it's Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio. Only XM brings you every team all season long, plus 100% commercial-free music. Beyond AM, beyond FM. XM Satellite Radio.
In the ninth now, here in Sacramento, 11-5, and we've saved it till the ninth, but clearly the pride of the city would have to be our partner, Buck Martinez. 17 years in the majors, 69 to 86, Royals, Brewers, and Blue Jays. Is that your favorite moment right there?
That's one of them, and this is another game in Milwaukee where I had a chance to throw out a Toronto Blue Jay. This is the 76 playoffs against New York. First time Kansas City got into the postseason, so that was a great moment.
Did you realize at the time you were such an inspiration for a very young Johnny Damon?
That's a really good-looking mustache you had right there.
A big mustache and a lot of hair, but that was the style back then.
A paste on, or was that?
No, that was the real one.
Huh?
Yeah, no, it's legit.
You look good with that one too, though.
Well, I tell you what, the hair's a little bit lighter.
Join the club. Why is it so many managers? You know, we saw Dusty Baker, Larry Bowa, yourself, so many managers. I mean, it's interesting that 3 major league managers of this age, you know, from the Sacramento area.
Well, my first manager in the big leagues was also from Sacramento, Joe Gordon. Really? Second baseman for the Yankees, and he was the manager of the Kansas City Royals in '69. It's a great baseball town, and we always got a chance to play an awful lot here. Larry Bowa and I went to Sacramento City College. Bobby Force, Ken Force went there as well. And later on, ball players, F.P. Santangelo, Chris Bosio, Jeff Blauser. Sacramento City College has always produced an awful lot of major league players, but it's a great baseball atmosphere. And you can see how they support this AAA ball club.
Brian Pena with a bouncer behind second, and Kinsler makes his second fine play at second base.
Well, we talked about Ian Kinsler making the transition from shortstop to second base, and he looks very comfortable on the right side of the diamond.
So Jim Kroll gets the first out of the ninth. He will give way to Jermaine Van Buren, who will come on to try and finish it up for the PCL.
I'm an AmeriQuest mortgage specialist, and whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American dream.
Well, it wasn't until Hurricane Charlie was over that the real danger began. I'm State Farm Agent Dan Mann, and this is a true story.
I'm a diabetic, and so when the power goes out, that's real bad.
His insulin had to stay cold.
He brought me ice.
Plus a check for emergency living expenses.
Before my neighbor even heard from his insurance company. And with all the thousands of people that needed help down here, I felt like they're only one.
When you need someone most, nobody takes care of you like State Farm.
We'd love to prove it to you. Call an agent today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you hit the road, you expect your car to perform well. But if your engine isn't clean, it may not perform at its best. Shell V-Power Premium Gasoline can help. It actively cleans your engine for better performance. So no matter where you're going, with Shell V-Power, you'll be able to enjoy the performance. Shell V-Power actively cleans for better performance.
SRO crowd of 14,414 here at Raley Field in the ninth inning. Let's send it down once again to Gary Miller.
Dave, thanks. Tony DeFrancesco. It's, not a lot of decisions to be made, thankfully, for you, although you got everybody in the game tonight. This is a pretty huge night for Sacramento, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Look at the crowd out here and the enthusiasm. It's been like that the last couple of years here for me here, and I can be proud to be part of this. Like you said, we got everybody in the game, we got everybody pitched, and we got a big hit from Laird early, and the local guy Watson gets a big home run. He almost had 3 hits, so couldn't be prouder, and what a great job by everybody here.
You know, you mentioned Watson. We were just visiting with his wife, Nicole. I mean, how huge is that? And what does it mean to a manager to see a moment like that for a guy in his family?
Well, it's very special for him. He has a little guy and one on the way right now. And Matty had a couple call-ups this year already with Oakland. And then to get the big hit with the hometown behind him, just a greater feeling for me. And I know his family is very proud of him.
Yeah, well, it's all the managing tonight, right, Tony? Guys, back to you.
All right, this is Chris Coast. Jermaine Van Buren, right-hander from the Iowa Cubs, Chicago AAA franchise. Former #2 pick of the Rockies, 98 out of Hattiesburg High School in Mississippi. And Jermaine has made it back into the Cubs system from the Independent League, Fort Worth Cats, just 2 years ago.
You can see why he has an opportunity to make a comeback with powerful right arm. He's got 45 strikeouts in 35 innings, and that's an attraction for anybody. He is healthy. Looks like he's got himself in pretty good shape, and he's thrown strikes so far tonight.
4 balls and 2 strikes to Coast. And out #2 here in the 9th inning. So kudos to both managers. Tony DeFrancesco, Sacramento, Marty Brown, Buffalo. Everybody has played.
Well, you know, I mean, when we talk about we talk about the players, how they're trying to get to the major leagues. Well, the managers and coaches are as well. They have visions of becoming major league coaches, major league managers, and you know, to be a AAA manager for the Cleveland Indians and a AAA manager in the Oakland A's organization, 2 pretty good places to be. Good young talent in the organization. You know you're going to have winning teams there, and all that does is continue to market your abilities to manage players. And AAA is a great place to do well because you're dealing, as we talked earlier, with a lot of players moving in different directions. If you can do that, you show that you're at least capable of doing a lot of things at the major league level.
And I think, Steve, now it has really changed to the point where the media has become part of minor league baseball, unlike never before. So that is another aspect that really helps out these managers as they're trying to get the entire package put together and increase their resume to the point where they'll be attracted to big league clubs.
3 balls and a strike now to Michael Venta, who's played all the way in right field for the International League. And to center field, Adrian Brown ranging over onto the track to haul it in. And the Pacific Coast League wins the 2005 AAA All-Star Game, 11-5 here in Sacramento.
Well, I tell you, pretty good ball game. Good relief pitching coming in. Good offense, obviously, for the Pacific Coast League. But a lot of good stories and a lot of classy ball players today. And this was a lot of fun.
That sure was. We got to see some young talent. We got to see some journeyman players. And we got to see some 36-year-olds still trying to hang on to that dream.
11-5 Pacific Coast League over the International League here at Raley Field. Quickly, guys, one guy who, if you could call him up tomorrow, who would you grab?
Well, Connor Jackson for me. I just think that he could hit the big leagues right now. He just has to develop the rest of his game.
J.J. Permaniak caught my attention. A little spark plug of a player.
2004 X Games Classic coming up next year on ESPN2.